State championship, trying to repeat, but with Aaron Nolan, confidence, accuracy, poise. He checks every box for a high school quarterback.
Yeah, John Reed, the Rome coach, said if you're going to Ohio State, which Nolan is, that means you're probably a future NFL prospect there as well, to give you an idea of the kind of player he is. And, of course, for Rome, they've got a great quarterback in their own right, and a guy that's played a lot of football here, there as well. It's Reese Fountain, but he may never played a bigger game than he'll play tonight.
Probably the biggest game in Reese Fountain's career, but he is 40-6 as a starter. He is a four-year starter. He's thrown for almost 9,000 yards. Brandon, what I love about him, 102 total touchdowns. There hasn't been a situation he hasn't been in high school. He's ready for tonight.
The Langston Hughes coach Boone Williams told us this week he believes this is the biggest game in the state here this weekend. So you've picked a great time to be with us here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Now, speaking of Coach Williams and Coach Reed, they had a chance to visit with our Kaylee Manziel a little bit earlier. Let's take a listen to that conversation here right now.
And welcome all to the U.S. Army pregame show. I'm Kaylee Mansell, and with the kickoff approaching, it is time for our R.S. Andrews head coach's interview. I am joined by John Reed and Boone Williams. Coach Williams, we're going to start with you first.
Okay.
It's a rematch of the Final Four from last year, but you find yourself in a different position. I want you to tell me what makes this year's team different.
This year's team is different because it was a roller coaster. I think last year's team, we pretty much rode the high all year. This team has had ups and downs, so they've been able to battle back each week. We battled through some injuries early on in the season, and we're starting to find our groove. So this team has been down and come back. We started out the year with Carrollton down, big. They were able to battle back early on. I think, like I said, again, this team it's a roller coaster ride, but we're on the up right now, it seems like.
Coach Reed, part of being the one seed is you get automatic 2 games guaranteed at home. You've played a lot of games at home this year. How big of an advantage is the crowd tonight?
Well, I hope it's a big advantage. I think we'll have a good crowd here, and it's always nice not to have to get on the road and eat and do all the things on the road. So I think it's a good thing for the Rome Wolves tonight.
All right, Coach Williams, I'm not going to lie to you. I overheard that you thought that this was the best matchup being played in the state tonight. Why is that?
I mean, it's two of the best teams in the state, hands down, any classification. I think, like I said, Coach Reed, they do a great job in Rome. I mean, he's always been a winner. So, and then Langston Hughes, where we are right now, we kind of rolling pretty good. I don't think it's a better matchup in the state tonight.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. Not just because I'm here. I'm being serious, I swear. All right, Coach Reed, 4-year starting quarterback, Reese Fountain, tonight could potentially be your last night with him. I just want to know, how much has he grown, not only as a player on the field, but as a person off the field as well?
Well, anybody that starts as a freshman in 6A football has got to grow, and I think he's done it every year. One thing Reese has done is he's had 3 different offensive coordinators, and he's always been able to adapt, and I think he's the best Reese that he's been this year, and it's helped our team immensely.
Well, Coach Reed, Coach Williams, thank you so much for joining me. I wish the both of you the best of luck. Guys, make sure to stay tuned because kickoff is coming up right after this.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is now hiring with a sign-on bonus of up to $4,700. Begin your career with us today. Explore GoGCSO.com to discover information on tuition reimbursement, paid training, and annual benefits. Are you ready to rise to the call? Go GCSO.
Okay, guys, go ahead and take it off. Take it off.
America, come along with our adventure seekers and discover summer with Ford. Join friends Maisa and Leslie on an epic adventure with the capability of the Ford Bronco Sport. Head out with the Stevens family and stay connected with built-in Wi-Fi in the Ford Explorer.
Did you know that horses sleep standing up?
Road trip with the Sanchez family and available hands-free highway driving in the Ford F-150. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $4,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer and discover your best summer ever.
The try for the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel here on the Peachtree Sports Network. We are at Barron Stadium in Rome, Georgia. This hallowed venue has seen a lot of big games over the years, and certainly Langston Hughes in Rome goes right there alongside any of them. Let's get ready to see our coin toss here, presented by Georgia's Rome. Of course, the Wolves in black with the red trim, the gold helmets. Langston Hughes in their green. They're also going to wear gold helmets there as well. Of course, this coin toss brought to you by Georgia's Rome. You see the Wolves there winning the toss. And you also get a look at them, the full team, coming through the Wolf mascot with the smoke blaring on their way on the field. That is a lot of fun. How about our weather temperature for tonight, presented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. It is almost perfect weather, and has been for most of the day. 66 degrees, just a little tiny bit of breeze, cloudy skies, a little bit, tiny threat of rain perhaps later on, but I think we're going to avoid that. And, you know, Rusty, I know this is your hometown, and I was happy to spend most of the afternoon here. Absolutely gorgeous conditions. You can tell this town is ready for a big football game, something of which it has seen plenty of before.
Listen, I take care of it when you come to my town. We're going to eat, we're going to have good weather, and we're going to be ready to play some high school football. No bigger game in the state, I guarantee you. We had our pick. We sat down last week, and we had this game available. It took about 1 second to make that decision.
I think the thing that everybody should know is the vibe for this game is so much different than it was a year ago. This is not meant to disrespect Langston Hughes, but last year in their march through the 6A to win the state championship, a season in which they may have been the best team of any classification in all of Georgia.
No doubt about it.
There was just really no one in this classification last year that was probably going to be able to be fully competitive with them. This year, a little bit different. I think that Rome is better than it was a year ago. Obviously, it has the chance to play this game at home. And I think this Wolves team is motivated to show Hughes tonight just how different it perhaps is than what they encountered a year ago.
This is a very prideful program, and to get beat like that on the big stage last year, you know they had to sit Rome in their stomachs all offseason. They got a chance to make amends tonight. It starts right here.
We are underway on the Peachtree Sports Network as the Rome Wolves get good field position on the kickoff up across the 40-yard line. And that is where they will begin their first offensive drive of the night, led by quarterback Reese Fountain. As John Reed told you a moment ago, this is a guy in the 6A classification, starting as a freshman, gives you an idea of just how polished and experienced he is. Of course, these starting lineups brought to you by the Georgia Army National Guard. You see the offensive line. They're going to probably rotate like 7 or 8 guys around that group here throughout the night. DK Daniel, that's a wide receiver to watch. Big season from him here thus far. And, of course, a couple of running backs, Chance Arthur and Javarius McDermott. They're going to help carry the load offensively tonight. McDermott will be the first on the field. Rome begins in a 4 wide receiver set with 2 on each side of the formation. And Fountain will throw on first down. That's Nick Hester. Ball caught up near the 49-yard line. Pickup of 7 on first down for the Wolves.
They're going to go fast. They're in a NASCAR set right here, already on the ball, Brandon.
Hughes defense there, brought to you by the Georgia Army National Guard there as well. Keep an eye on those 2 defensive ends. Those are names to know.
Got a late flag.
Going to have a late flag coming in here there as well. Yep. Alonzo Jackson, Quay Pitts, they call them the Bash Brothers, are going to be coming after the quarterback all night long.
It's like a legal man downfield.
And, of course, the call here from Bo Hairston gives us a chance to check in on our game officials.
Ineligible downfield.
Brought to you by
repeat, second down.
The Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, including Mark Staten, our back judge, Jeff Eichler, he's our electronic clock operator, and Mike Profit will also be running the play clock here tonight. Of course, the umpire, Eric Staten. Brian Stradley is also the headline judge, as we showed you a moment ago. So good group of folks here tonight, veteran officiating crew, helping us manage these proceedings. So you back up Rome after the completion, now make it second down. Looking at second and about 8 after the penalty. Fountain will throw again. He's going to throw deep down the sideline, and it's caught over the shoulder by DK Daniel for a touchdown. 56 yards on the strike, and Rome at home is on the board first.
What an absolute dime by Reese Fountain. Drops it right in the basket. And you could tell, Brandon, when you have a script play, they were looking for that one. And Fountain just drops this right in, and look at him behind, runs right past the Langston Hughes defense. And DK Daniel, young man, has played with Reese Fountain since 6th grade. These two know each other well, and they strike first on Langston Hughes.
The PAT is through and good. And just like that, as quick as a whistle, Rome takes a touchdown lead here. And on that throw, does Reese Fountain look like a quarterback who's played 40-something games in his career?
Looks very composed right there, and that ball was absolutely on the money.
13th touchdown catch of the season for Daniel. He comes in with more than 800 yards receiving, 835 to be exact. So he's been a big target this season, and as Rusty said, throughout the career for these guys playing together. And that gives you an idea of what Rome has sort of been doing all year long. This is a team that has not played very many close games.
They have had 9 consecutive running clocks. They have absolutely shredded their region, meaning their starters have barely played in the fourth quarter.
And a lot of the folks,
Langston Hughes is made aware of that.
A lot of the folks around the Rome program will also point this out too, because there's obviously an arms race that goes on of individual accolades and individual attention. And you know, they'll tell you that the Rome starters really only played first half in like 10 of the 11 games this year. And you see that ball bounces a live football and a big hit. Credit the Langston Hughes return man for being able to hold on to that after going up high to receive that and getting the big hit there. It was Maurice Galeaton who was the return man.
22, Joseph Wilkinson with a big hit. The App State commit. We saw him against Carrollton, man. He was all over the field. This safety for Rome, Appalachian State commit. Region Defensive Player of the Year this week.
And keep in mind on those kickoff plays like that, and by the way, we'll see the Hughes offense here presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Aaron Nolan, of course, is the Ohio State committed quarterback. Fellow Big Ten commit, though, Justice Savage on his way to Indiana at running back, although they'll rotate a lot at the running back position tonight. And you probably have as strong an offensive line as perhaps you'll see. Dontrell Glover, the Alabama commit, mans the left tackle spot. He's a junior here for this Hughes offensive line. Pass complete there on first down. And boy, you want to talk about a guy that's emerged big here this season. That's the sophomore tight end there, Xavier Tiller, racking up big offers, and that's a big dude too.
Dude, they love him. They think he is the next like potential top 50 player in the country. 2026 tight end.
He
already
is hard to miss as a target with that kind of size.
Crazy
6'4",
sophomore,
230-pound tight end. Nolan content to hand it off here.
And that's going to be the key. Hughes. That's going to be the key tonight. Can they run against this Rome defense?
Well, speaking of the Rome defense, we'll see those starters presented by the Georgia Army National Guard. Justin Terrell, the defensive tackle, that's an NC State commit. Keep your eye on Jaden Harmon, a linebacker. That's a guy that's got a lot of Power 5 attention. We've already seen Joe Wilkinson on special teams make a big play, kind of manning the back end there as a safety on his way to Appalachian State. Nolan, again, the handoff, fighting forward, getting across the 35-yard line. That's Savage. And now third down here coming up. Hughes gets back to the line quickly.
Yeah, they'll run quickly here.
We're going to bunch the formation with 2 receivers on the left.
Flag down.
They move too quick on that.
Is it Rome off defensive?
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty, resulting in first down.
Big penalty there for Rome, making it easy for Hughes. Keep your eye on the Breda Pest Management score ticker throughout the night. How about Norcross Buford already 7-7 right there? We saw Norcross a couple of weeks ago, and I was very, very impressed. I knew they'd be a tough playoff matchup for almost anyone. Perhaps it'll prove to be true for Buford. How about one of the big surprises last week, Collins Hill in a battle with Milton right now as well. Fresh set of downs now for Langston Hughes. It's a handoff to Savage again. Savage up to the 49-yard line.
I tell you what, early on, they look like they want to let their line of scrimmage, their offensive line, to kind of establish this running game. They're coming right at Rome.
Yeah, Boone Williams, the Hughes coach, believes he's got 3 Power 5 offensive linemen at least. Obviously, Glover, a lot of our audience will know as a junior commit to Alabama, but Tavares Dice, the left guard, Caleb Ash, the right tackle, are both guys that kind of thought to be, you know, big-time players. And by the way, speaking of big-time plays, how about that on second down for Rome? Now to force another third down here coming up, and we'll see how Hughes responds to that.
Yeah, it was Joe Wilkinson again coming up from his safety spot. Philly was unblocked. fills the hole there and stops that run for basically no gain.
There's the handoff again.
I don't know if he got it.
I think he may be a little bit short. And by the way, that was Carson Baker in on the carry. They're going to give it to him.
22, and then
Wilkinson
again,
all over the place.
I tell you what, it shows me against this box, they're putting an extra man. They're putting 22 up. See 22 walked up here. Watch him fill this hole. Perfect tackle. Nice play, but first down by Langston Hughes. That chain of events was set up by that penalty on the third down conversion.
Maybe a slightly generous spot, but
a little close to me.
Now 1st and 10. Man goes in motion. Handoff to Savage again. Savage fighting forward, getting across the 45 down to the 44. Got about 4 that time on first down.
Yeah, young man that he gave Carrollton some fits running the football.
Beat Rome in Barron Stadium earlier this year, and on a nationally televised game to begin the season, Langston Hughes beat the 7A state finalists from a year ago, and what was really one of the most exciting games of the year probably in the state of Georgia. Nolan will throw now. That's a pass through the hands of the intended receiver. Contact after the fact, but that appeared to have been incidental. Yep. Not able to hold on to that time was Antonio Sledge.
Tenarius Stallings, that was who took the Kell game over. Remember, played wide receiver,
Sure
made
did.
2 big plays against Cass, excuse me. First down, but here we go, Brandon, again, 3rd and 7. Opening drive for Langston Hughes. See if they get Aaron Nolan out of the pocket a little bit right here. They like to roll him out and give him that option to throw it or keep it. They're going to stack trips at the top. So they're going to lighten the box right here. Rome's going to have 5 defenders.
That'll be the right side of the formation. 3 down linemen here. They crowd a linebacker up towards the line of scrimmage there as well.
Rome's coming.
Now he'll back up. They show pressure here. Here it comes. Handled easily thus far. Now Nolan's going to dump it off. Got a man open, but not able to hold on to the football. That's a pass incomplete. Khalil Allen was the intended target.
Great play by Aaron Nolan to keep that play alive. You see his eyes were always down the field. Wide receiver didn't help him right there.
Yeah,
and Nolan with a big stop.
Couple of drops on that drive.
Yep.
Kind of bring the Hughes possession to an end prematurely. And Xavier Tiller, who we told you about, who had the first catch of the game for Langston Hughes, he's also going to come in and be the punter now as well. Stallings will also be back deep to receive for Rome. Kick is away, almost touched.
Wow.
But going to end up taking a nice Hughes roll inside the 10, almost down to the 5-yard line there. So flag comes in after some extracurricular stuff over here near the 25-yard line, close to the Rome sideline. Looked like the gunner kind of got into a
Xavier
little bit of a scuffle.
Xavier Leonard and a couple of Rome defenders here. I don't know who they're going to call this on. They're discussing it, but I tell you what, if you're not 6'4.5", you don't catch that snap.
Yeah, that's right. And so it kind of went from being a situation where you thought it might be a botch or a miscue for Hughes. Then it took a nice roll, but we'll see if the field position stands for the Panthers after a deliberation over a penalty here. Let's see it again. Okay, so you see that there.
Those two, 25 there.
Yeah, is that going to be an offsetting deal? Is there enough to get both guys on that?
I don't know what they're going to call there. He hip tossed him, so I don't know if that's a.
Is that a penalty though?
It should be a holding because it's post possession.
We have holding on the kicking team.
Yep.
They have elected to re-kick. 4th down.
Okay, so Rome is going to allow Hughes here to re-kick in the hope of getting obviously better field position.
Well, they saw that snap, and that was a dangerous snap. But yeah, that's can't tackle a guy. Hip tossed him basically.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I'm sort of used to the concept of anything sort of goes and some of that gunner stuff.
Some of these games, anything goes, man.
So that'll bring out McLean again to try another punt. And Tenarius Stallings will stay back as the return man. You're looking at 4th and a long way here after the penalty.
Coming.
Rome shot high, snap over the head. Rusty called it. And a smart play there by John Reed to vie for the re-kick, and they're going to bring McLean down inside the 5-yard line.
That's exactly why they made them snap that ball again, because that first one looked really shaky, Brandon.
A heads-up play by Rusty spotting that, and a clever call by John Reed calling for the re-kick. And the special teams miscue is going to cost Hughes in a big way. Wilkinson again, one of the guys.
I'm telling you, 22 is everywhere.
He really is.
22 is all over the field for Rome.
Daniel was also a part of that.
What do you think his heart rate is right now?
Yeah, Mike. Listen, he is amped up and ready to go.
One of those GPS vests on him tonight.
You love that. I mean, it's what we love about this time of year.
I tell you what, man, a lot of respect for those two coaches amongst each other. I watched them interact. I watched them talk. It was funny in pregame. They showed up at 3 o'clock. I said, Coach Reed, you couldn't let them go out and hang out in the indoor and relax? He goes, no. Coach Williams just started laughing. He said, no, y'all can relax on tomorrow. You're not relaxing in my indoor.
That is fantastic.
Both of them laughed.
All right, here's Fountain back in the shotgun. Going to take the snap. Now look to run. Going to cut back to the left side. Diving towards the end zone for a touchdown.
Okay. Nice play right there, designed by Rome, the keeper for Reese Fountain. Something that he has done more this year. Great blocking on the edge. What a block there by Chance Arthur. Look at 20, running back, sealing off the gap. And Rome has jumped on Langston Hughes, Brandon, very quickly.
Almost kind of reminiscent of Brody McWhorter last week, the Cass quarterback from this part of the state, by the way, who also was a big, hero with his legs. And Fountain kind of made the move there on that to get the second touchdown of the night for Rome. They take advantage of the special teams miscue and add to a lead that was started on the opening drive of the game. The Wolves are looking good here, leading in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
This is a Peachtree Sports Network weather update, powered by Atlanta News First.
Happy finally Friday to you. I'm meteorologist Cutter Martin with your Peachtree Sports Network forecast. Clouds, they're back again today, though. South Georgia, southeast Georgia, the coastal empire getting a bit of a break from the rain. Watching a little system moving in from the north and west. Few spotty showers up in North Georgia as we get into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, maybe even the wee hours of Saturday morning. This system, though, will serve to bring some drier, sunnier weather back across the state as we get into the bulk of the weekend. It is looking stunning. 11 a.m. Saturday, sunny Vidalia, Atlanta, Gainesville, Augusta, Macon, and Columbus. But some cooler weather also moving in with this system. Low temperatures tonight, not a big difference from the past few nights initially. 62 Brunswick, 57 Atlanta, 55 in Gainesville, though 71 Rome, 78 in Savannah. Cooler area-wide by Sunday morning.
At South College, you'll get more than just an education. You'll learn how you can change someone's life with a Physical Therapist Assistant Associate of Science degree. Physical therapist assistants assist in the treatment of individuals of all ages, from newborns to people at the end of life. Many patients have injuries, disabilities, or other health conditions that need treatment. For more information about South College's Physical Therapist Assistant program, call or visit south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You see a fast start here for Rome playing at home against the defending 6A state champs. They're up 14-0. Let's give you a little bit of a recap how it happened with our scoring summary presented by Breda Pest Management. This is basically the full total of the offense tonight for Rome. 2 drives, 3 plays, a total of 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns there as well. Reese Fountain, the quarterback, just got a rushing touchdown, and he also threw a touchdown pass to DK Daniel on the game's opening possession. Wolves will now kick it back off here. Ball fielded right there around the 24. And brought down right away was Khalil Allen, the return man. Kendall Wright was in on that stop for the Wolves. And here comes Langston Hughes back on offense, trying to slow down what is an awful lot of Rome momentum here at the moment.
Yeah, this hasn't happened to Langston Hughes very much at all in the last 3 years. They're down 2 touchdowns. They got stalled out on the first drive. They got number one. He's got a lot of poise in him. So Ohio State quarterback commit. Tried to run the ball a lot the first drive. Let's see if they try to get him going a little bit over through the air right here.
More than 10,000 yards passing for his career, to give you an idea of how successful that he's been. They will run again on first down. That's Justice Savage. And boy, it is tough sledding right now with that Rome defensive line.
Justin Terrell right there at 98. Also in on that, the NC State commit. 48, another one, Trayvon Adams, we saw against Cass and Carrollton that had a really good game. This defensive line, look at them penetrating, coming up the field, just flying around the football.
One of the things that'll be a little bit different about Rome defensively up front is Jamar Chapman, a guy we've seen play a lot, has been injured. You see Savage running here again, and he's going to go down. Big tackle that time by the linebacker, Parco Smith. And it's third down quickly again for Langston Hughes.
And this Rome defense is all over the place. And one thing they're doing, Brandon, they are coming. They're bringing extra guys. There's nobody to block him. And he just delivers the punch there for the tackle. They are coming after Langston Hughes right now.
Before this third down play, let me try to quickly finish the point I was making. Jamar Chapman, a defensive end, has been banged up. We're seeing more right now of Dash Kennebrew. That's a really impressive sophomore. So that's a little bit of a different look for Rome defensively than what we've seen from them earlier here in the year. They're showing pressure here now on this 3rd and 13 play. Empty backfield for Nolan. Nolan's looking right side. Going to throw that way. Got his guy there. Contact, and a flag comes in. Xavier Tiller, the tight end, was the target. Flag came in quickly, and another one came in after that.
Man, look how big he is. That is a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got a great collection of SEC offers, and you sort of get the idea why. And it sort of fits into the trend here in Georgia.
Passing defense.
Yes.
Defense. First down.
Man, what a rough play on 3rd and 13, but
I mean, this is obviously an extreme comparison, but it almost kind of reminds you of, when Randy Moss first came in the NFL. When you have the big, tall target like that, drawing a pass interference is part of the offense.
Yes, yes.
Now, that's a spot foul in the NFL, but, you're going to say, well, that's a tough miscue by Rome. But the truth is when you're trying to guard a big target like Tiller, he's going to draw more pass interferences.
Yeah.
A year ago, Mays.
LaGrange up on Benedictine. Oof.
Yeah, it's one of the sort of I think one of the better matchups here this week. How about that by Nolan? Kind of throwing off balance, almost over his shoulder. A dangerous throw, and you see why. It results in an interception. Ryan Sykes, the free safety's there to bring it home.
Man, this Rome defense is flying around.
Let me correct myself. That's actually Stallings that comes in.
Stallings, yes.
Neria Stallings playing on both sides of the ball. Who gets the interception there? Wow. I mean, Nolan's obviously got
80 yards after catch, but again.
So I was a down behind here, and it's another Hughes drive that comes to an end prematurely. That'll bring back Xavier Tiller to punt here. Rome going to show you 2 return men for the first time today. Daniel Jones joins Stallings, and a flag comes in.
Delay a game, I think.
Delay a game. Offense.
That makes you nervous if you're Coach Williams. You got to snap it again.
That's right. And you'll be doing so from now closer to your end zone. So Daniel and Stallings, the 2 return men. We've seen Hughes have a miscue with a punt before. Tiller going to back all the way up, essentially to the 2-yard line. Try to field this when Rome's showing pressure. Again, it's a high snap. Tiller gets it, and it's blocked. And it's going to be a loose ball fought for, but Rome is going to come away with the football after a blocked punt. And the Wolves will have amazing field position once again, and for the second time tonight, it is a big miscue for Hughes on a punt.
He has to go up and get it. He's in a hurry. He just missed it.
Okay.
He just missed it. I mean, he just got just an ounce of it, but again, the special team snapping. And that penalty cost them again, Brandon, because they had to snap the ball. He'd gotten it off the play before.
You almost wonder if that kind of turns almost everything into 4-down territory.
I mean, you can't give up touchdowns because of you're worried about if you can get the ball back right now.
So Fountain and the Rome offense getting ready to come out on the field again. We're in the red zone here to start things off, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. After all of this, there's still 1:40 left in the first quarter. That's the handoff to Arthur. Chance Arthur into the game. Now 2nd down. By the way, it's 2nd and goal here. Fountain steps over, gets a look at his sideline. They're going to have 2 receivers on the right side. Hester will be the slot man there. Running back now goes in motion. It's going to be a dump off to Arthur. Arthur's looking for his block, and he is going to be out of bounds. Out of bounds right there around the 3-yard line.
Man, I thought he was in the way he. So 3rd and goal.
Look at 3rd and goal here now. The ball really sits at the 1. Handoff to Arthur.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, Arthur did not get there. That's going to bring up 4th down.
You're going for this if you're John Reed.
Seems like it, right?
You're going for this. Got a chance to go up 4 touchdowns on Langston Hughes. You got to get this.
Fountain brings everybody back to the line here. Under a minute in the first quarter. That's the handoff. Arthur again. This time it's easy. And Rome has taken a commanding first quarter lead. 3rd rushing touchdown of the night. This one to Chance Arthur. And you better believe they're feeling that right now.
I don't know if it's shock and awe.
It is.
Shock and awe is kind of what it is.
Jacob Fisher will send the extra point through, and as Rusty said, not a surprise to see Rome winning.
Correct.
But 28-0 in the first quarter is as shocking as anything we could have ever imagined. You see John Reed telling everybody, stay focused.
Yes.
Still a lot of football left. Now, speaking of football, we got some big football coming up in the city of Atlanta in just a couple of weeks. It's time to get ready for this year's SEC Championship at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And the championship game is going to kick off on Saturday, December 2nd at 4 p.m. But fans can get in on the action early with the Dr. Pepper Fan Fair on Friday, December 1st at the Georgia World Congress Center in Building B from 1 to 7 p.m. on Saturday. The Dr. Pepper Fan Fair continues from 9 to 4 p.m. there as well, along with the return of the T-Mobile concert at noon featuring Darius Rucker. So come out and experience everything that makes SEC football great. And of course, admission is free to all. So the positive spin on this is if there was an offense created for coming back from a big deficit, you would think it's what Aaron Nolan and this Langston Hughes team could do. .39 seconds left in the half. Cruz Reyes will kick it. Ball into the end zone. That's a touchback, not an opportunity for a return there for Jabari Jones. How about another scoring summary presented by Breda Pest Management? 4 plays, 9 yards, minute 1 second off the clock. Arthur becomes the 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for the Wolves. And all of this set up by another really difficult issue with the Langston Hughes attempt at a punt.
I mean, you cannot, maybe you can't chance it again, Brandon. I mean, because you're giving up 9-yard drives.
I think you can.
I don't know that you, I mean, it's.
Yeah, I think given the deficit, giving your issues with that specific play, you probably just need to avoid it altogether, I would think. Nolan, though, you saw the look on his face. Still really calm here. He'll have 4 receivers. His tight end kind of becomes a slot man on the right side. That's a pass complete. Not much doing that time, though, for Antonio Sledge. He had to go up kind of high to bring that one down. Does get 4 on that, though, make it 2nd and 6.
And they're throwing a lot of stuff underneath. Wonder if they don't trust the protection.
We've obviously seen this Rome defensive line play terrific. Nolan again going to throw out to the sideline. That's a pass complete. Flying to the football of the Wolves. First quarter is going to end right there. We're going to be looking at, I believe, a 3rd and short when we come back. Jabari Jones there to haul that one in. You see the look of frustration there. The look of surprise on the rest of our faces. Rome is up 28-0. And Hughes has got some work to do to get back into this football game. We're happy to have you with us tonight on the Peachtree Sports Network.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes presented by Ingles. I'm Chris Bainbridge, and we're counting down the best Georgia high school football players of all time. The sack man's coming. I'm your man Dent. If the quarterback's slow, he's gonna get bent. These are the lyrics to the Super Bowl Shuffle, as delivered by Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Richard Dent. The Atlanta native attended Murphy High School, later renamed Alonzo A. Krim Open Campus High School, where he dominated in multiple sports. After his stellar prep career, Dent went on to attend Tennessee State University, and eventually to the Chicago Bears, where he would join the greatest defense of all time, the Super Bowl champion 85 Bears. He would retire as one of the all-time sack leaders in NFL history, with 137.5. Thank you for watching Georgia High School Heroes, presented by Ingles.
I'm here now with Hughes head coach Boone Williams. Coach, tough first quarter. What are you looking from your team in the second quarter?
We just got to find a rhythm. This is an environment. You know what I'm saying? We just got to calm down and then play every step and win the snap. We just got to calm down as a team. I think everything from offense, defense, special teams, they're jittery, they're antsy. We just got to calm down and play our game.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck in the second quarter.
I really like Boone Williams a lot, and that interview to me is an example of that. There is no panic in his voice whatsoever. Nope. He's relaxed, and I think he had a really good idea for what his team needs to do. Now, actually executing that, not necessarily an easy thing, but he's got the right idea, obviously, and looking at a 3rd and 1 here to begin the second quarter.
This is a big 3rd down.
Nolan surveys the scene, a little bit more of a bunch formation than we've seen. That's a handoff, and it's first down yardage there. Big hit before it's all said and done, but Carson Baker, the sophomore, moves the chains for Hughes. Wilkinson, another one of the guys there on that stop again, and he's had quite a night already, the Appalachian State commit at the safety spot. Another kind of a bunch look here for Hughes. Handoff again, and a nice tackle there by Trey Adams, wrapping up Carson Baker, not giving him much room to move.
Let me tell you something. I was around here for those 2016, 2017, 2018 Rome teams, and when you came up here defensively, you got hit in the mouth. This is the best defense I've seen Rome play in the last 3 years so far. They are flying around the ball.
Yeah, Rusty referencing a streak of 3 straight state championships that Rome won a few years ago. And, of course, Hughes, the defending 6A state champion right now. 11 minutes on the clock, second quarter of play. Nolan going to try to pass. Going to find a man wide open. That's a play made there at the 45, cross the 50-yard line. And Hughes gets the play that it needs. Jabari Jones comes up on that. He's been a favorite target for Nolan tonight. So into Wolves territory. 19 on the pickup. And Nolan wants to go fast. He's got 5 receivers, 3 on the right side. Looking left, though, going to go the way of Jones again. Well, Dalton dig up on Creekside right now, 24-14.
What about that region? Hiram's up on Jefferson. If
Yeah.
that region might go 4-0 again.
That would really be something.
That wouldn't surprise us. You know what I mean?
No,
We've
yeah.
seen it all year.
Nolan again going to dump off to Jones. Jones met right away. Big play defensively. Javian Winston, a senior defensive back, in on that stop. And we're back to third down again for Hughes.
Third and 5 here. So far, Rome has brought pressure on these plays.
Line to make is the 38.
John Reed called timeout. Didn't like the formation. Want to make sure they get in the right
Timeout.
defense here.
First time out of the half.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Rome, it's funny. You've got obviously the big cushion, but you want to preserve the momentum as long as you can because, you know, Hughes being as explosive as they are, you let them get another score, or you let them get their first score, all of a sudden they start to believe in themselves here, and that's how quickly sometimes things can change. Hey, speaking of things changing, one of the things that you don't want to change right in your house is to one day look around and see you've got flying squirrels up there in your attic. Well, in Georgia, that's what we have. They're called Southern flying squirrels. They're critics that love to get critters.
They're
Second
critics
time I've
and
said
critters.
this. Critters that love to get into your attics and your basements where they're protected from predators. Now, if you hear scratching in your attic, don't just draw straws to see who's going to go up there. Call our friends at Breda Pest Management to help you out with all that. You can find out more at BredaPest.com. That's BREDA, BredaPest.com. All right, so looking at third down here.
Yeah, this is 2-down territory.
I think it has to be.
This is,
as we
you're
said
calling
before,
two plays.
they may need to be
Yes.
4-down territory on every spot the rest of the night, given the issues with the punt. That's a handoff.
It's going to be about 4th and 2.
Going to be short there. Savage again on the carry. We're seeing he and Baker really be the two guys rotating and running back right now. And, yeah, obviously this is 4-down territory. And as Rusty said, a pretty manageable situation, too.
I tell you what, man, I don't know what, is that 4th and 3, you think, on that spot? Yeah, 4th and 3.
Yeah, I think you're looking at that, yeah. Timeout now.
Yeah,
Boone
Hughes.
Williams going to call that. They want to make sure they get the right play in mind here.
Timeout. Langston Hughes.
He understands the scope of this play.
First time out of the half.
While we have a moment, let's check in on the Rome resume here. Rusty gave you some of the bullet points on that a moment ago. It's brought to you by Smart Local 85. Of course, John Reed in his 9th season. One of the most successful coaches in Georgia over the course of that tenure there. Long run of state championships going back to
that 2017 home team. I'm telling you, that was if I've ever seen a team, Brandon, that smelled blood, it was over, it was that team. You were done when they saw that look in your eye.
Of course, prior to coming here to Rome, he was at Alcoa in Tennessee, big power program up there in the Volunteer State.
I think he won a state championship in Indiana. He won a state championship in Tennessee, and he won 2 here in Georgia.
And obviously well positioned here in the 6A classification this year. We talked about a little bit of a different feel for this game for Rome and Hughes compared to a year ago, but I would say the 6A classification overall has a different feel to it where
we talked about that. There's about 8 teams we felt like, hey, and oh, by the way, the winner of this probably is going to get Thomas County Central next year.
which is the
there's
year
your reward.
they've had.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No doubt.
You get Region 1's champ.
Yeah, no doubt. That's your prize for winning a game like this. All right, on 4th down, sizable moment here. Nolan recognizes that. He's moving his pieces around here. Rome going to show you 4-down lineman and creep a linebacker towards the line of scrimmage as well. Now he'll drive back into coverage. Nolan going to roll right, throw right. It's a caught pass, and it's 1st down yardage there, and that's Brandon Gates, the junior, who brings that in.
I love that play to get it out, but I'm telling you, 48, Adams blew up the running back. He almost stopped that play. It's a good job by Nolan just to get it out of his hand.
Trey Page runs on late for Hughes. Empty backfield. Page becomes the receiver. He's dropped right there at the 31-yard line. Got 6 that time on 1st down.
Yeah, They're in throwing mode right now.
Trey Page stays in as the running back. Takes the handoff, kind of cut back left. Took a big hit for his trouble there.
I'm telling you, 22 comes with, he brings it.
One of the guys also on that stop was Jarvis Adams as well, and that's, you don't see a lot of Rome guys play both ways, but Adams is a good offensive lineman, also playing along the defensive line too. That's the handoff again to Savage. Savage fights down to the 25, and that's going to get a first down again for Langston Hughes. So finding more success on this drive than really any point in time so far tonight.
And I think they know, Brandon, even now they know, but they knew right here, they're going for it. The entire drive here.
Ball sits at the 25. Carson Baker back in at running back. Rome leads 28-0. Hughes desperately trying to change that. Aaron Nolan, the Ohio State committed quarterback, surveys the scene.
Got 14 attached right here at the bottom of the screen. First time I've seen that.
Nolan rolling left. Gonna have to hurry. Gets it off. That's a pass caught. Knocked out of bounds around the 21-yard line. Jabari Jones again. Jones felt like he was hit late.
Yeah, they tried to sneak Tillman in on the end to run a route. See him attached there, and they roll the opposite way, but first time I've seen them do that.
Nolan has really been hurried for most of the night.
Yes.
You're looking at 2nd and 5 now. Here comes pressure again. It's a pop pass, and it's going to be a touchdown. RPO play, and a strike to Jabari Jones, and Aaron Nolan's touchdown pass gets Hughes on the board.
What a drive by Langston Hughes. What an answer right there. That is Aaron Nolan's bread and butter. RPO, look at this. Look at his eyes. Delivers, ball on the money, touchdown Hughes. And Brandon, they had to have that.
They had to.
They had to have that.
It could have been over
that
quickly if you don't score in that situation.
Yep. It's a big answer there.
And it also comes early enough in the half here, as you're going to see KJ McClain try the extra point, that, you know, conceivably you have a chance to get the possession again this first half, which could be big.
Yep. Defensively, they have shown no answer for Langston Hughes so far, though.
We got an interesting game going here. Rome's looking good, and they get the football when we come back.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC provides apprentices with free training and careers that are stable and essential to the operation of the modern world. Both craft jobs and management positions offer lucrative pay with benefits as well as the stability of a growing industry. Skilled journeymen in the sheet metal industry are essential to our community now and in the future. Learn more about free technical training with no student debt at our website, careersinsheetmetal.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt. I got it, Mom. It's a really nice day living in the right space. Breathing your grace got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
All right, we are back, everyone. Brandon Adams, Rusty Manziel here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Drive for the GHSA state title. Hughes has found its way onto the board, but trailing by 3 touchdowns, as you see. How did it happen for Langston Hughes? About 14 plays, 80 yards, 5:42 off the clock. And, of course, it was the Jabari Jones touchdown catch from Prentice Aaron Nolan that made it all happen. Looking to return here, and Stallings gets a nice kick return in to Hughes territory. Tanerius Stallings. Flag going to come in.
Another flag.
Yeah, there's some activity going on the sideline over there. You always judge the severity of the penalty based on how high the official throws it.
In the case of, based off how high he threw that, somebody might get 30 yards on that penalty.
That thing came sailing.
It almost came into the lights. When you put that umph on it.
Yep.
Unsportsmanlike. Said unsportsmanlike on black. I don't know, he turned his head there, so I don't know if it's going to be offsetting, but
yeah, we'll see. There's also a Rome, and that's actually Stallings, who's down right now. I don't know if that's a cramp or what.
It's a starting corner.
Also a wide receiver as well. So having a few words over there with his coaching staff as he goes to the sideline here, and John Reed going way out to
taking his money.
So we got 2 dead ball unsportsmanlike.
Offsetting.
Going to get both sides on those.
Yep. Camden County up on McEachern. So Region 1 and 7A. It's going to be weird not saying 7A.
Yeah, it's going to be. You look at these drives here for Rome to begin the game. Started their own 42, very quick touchdown. Short field after that because of the miscue and the punt, another touchdown. Started their own 43, another touchdown. And then another short field after another botch punt, another quick touchdown. That's kind of how we got here. Great summary of all of that. Fountain now will throw, hit right away. Good defensive play by Terrence Brown. First catch of the night as well for Brajon Jackson. Yeah, you mentioned it's going to be weird not saying 7A, but I actually like the new division better.
I love it. Yeah, compressing the regions back down. And
now I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still trying to figure out who's going where. I won't pretend that I'm not. Oh, ball came loose. Ball came loose. It was another catch for Jackson. And Brown was in on the stop again. I believe he dislodged the football, and now everyone's pleading their case. And Justin Bonds, the linebacker, you saw his body language. It sounds like he doesn't like the result over there.
Hey, that is going to be a gutsy call right there against the sideline.
Tough to do.
Yep, we're going to call it down.
All right, let's see it again here.
Oh, man.
But so the ball out of bounds?
I don't know what he called. But that was definitely a fumble. But it could have been out of bounds when they recovered it.
Yeah, that's obviously the far side of the field from where we are.
Yeah.
As it stands, it's going to be 3rd and 1 now for Rome. And looks like they moved.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down. 3rd.
So back them up after the penalty. Make it 3rd and 6 now. Receivers stacked on both sides in pairs. Fountain will throw. That's a 1st down to Jackson. Down to the 25-yard line. 3rd catch on this drive for Brajon Jackson.
Good protection by the Rome offensive line, giving Fountain enough time to let his receiver clear that zone. And he delivers a great ball on 3rd down to move the chains.
Back goes in motion. Fountain going to go straight ahead. Flag comes in again, and kind of wrestling for the football again, but in this case, Fountain was clearly down.
We'll get a hold here on Rome, I believe.
Speaking of Thomas County Central, how about 35-0 on Jonesboro right now?
So here's the scenario. Langston Hughes wins.
We have holding offense. Repeat down.
If Langston Hughes were to come back and win this game, they will go to Thomas County Central next week. If this score holds off and Rome wins this game, Thomas County Central comes here next week.
We can talk about some difference in travel.
Ooh.
Somebody's going about 400 miles. Potentially, anyway.
We've made that trip before.
We sure have.
I've made it from right here to Thomasville a couple years ago. So
Sure
I can
have.
tell you that is see a lot of country.
So it's first down yardage on the play, then backed up on the penalty, and you see the bracket that Rusty's referencing there. Stallings on the catch. He's obviously back in the game healthy after leaving after the kickoff a moment ago. Down to the 30. So he gets about 4, bringing up second down. Excuse me, second. He's going to bring up second 16.
14-10 Buford up on Norcross in the second quarter. Now third quarter. Excuse me.
Fountain to Stallings again. Stallings gets a block, gets a big hit, but he's down near the 20-yard line. Third down now coming up.
Both teams utilizing that quick bubble, just throwing it out in the flats and letting these athletes in space. Good job blocking, though, by the receivers.
It's funny, on the very first passing play of the game, we saw a big, deep throw to D.K. Daniel, and they haven't really gone back to that since then. Setting up another screen, this time just going to throw it away.
Great job by the Langston Hughes defensive line. He realized he had a free release, and he stopped that screenplay. But what I like about that play also, by Fountain recognized it wasn't there. He threw it away. But good job by both players there. Play was not there, and Fountain didn't want to eat a negative play.
That was Dontrell Glover, the Alabama commit on the offensive line, playing some defensive line too.
So far, Rome has owned the special team. So if they make this,
high snap, Cruz Reyes kick is going to be short and off to the right. So it's no good. And so Hughes gets off the field with no points allowed.
And you kind of feel like they understand what this drive means with 5 minutes left in the half. And you get the ball first, correct?
That's right, we sure do. Let's see the Langston Hughes resume here. Of course, presented by Smart Local 85, defending 6A state champs. Daniel Boone Williams doing a great job there, and tremendous collection of players coming through here throughout the years, including a couple of guys who've ended up there at Georgia.
I'll tell you something, Jelani Thurman last year at 6'7" tight end. And then you had Bo Hughley at tackle. DeAndre Walker was, man, he played all over the field for Georgia.
Sure did. To me, one of the underrated single seasons for Georgia was what Walker did in 2017, and kind of like a sort of a specialist pass rush type situation where he had a phenomenal stat line that season.
I tell you what, the 2018 SEC championship changed when he got hurt.
Sure did.
And Jalen Hurts was able to run the football. When DeAndre Walker went out of the game, it was a different football game.
Not that I still have bad memories of that or anything. You see Savage wrapped up.
Sorry to bring that up, but sure DeAndre's watching somewhere tonight.
Good play there by Justin Terrell, and Trey Adams in on that too. And we're quickly back to third down again for Hughes.
And they have run the ball for 30 seconds, 2 downs.
.424 to go, first half of play. We'll have scores from throughout the state as a part of our halftime show. Kaylee Manziel will have you for that, but we got a lot of football to get to before we get there. Xavier Tiller is a tight end in kind of a slot position on the right side. Pressure coming. It was Harden with the pressure. Dump off to Savage. Savage is going to get a first down for Hughes.
Great play call, man. They caught Rome being aggressive. Rome has been blitzing on third down, and they caught him right there. Great play call to convert.
Yeah, Jaden Harmon, a kind of an SEC level linebacker, as a junior, almost got to Nolan, but Nolan dumped it off to Savage, and Savage makes the big play. Nolan to throw again. That's a pass caught. Antonio Sledge.
I mean, both quarterbacks have been really intermediate passing tonight so far. Fountain delivers the ball early in the game, but you've seen a lot of short timing passes, Brandon.
Yeah, you wonder if at some point in time the intermediate.
Somebody's going out and up.
Yeah, you
somebody's
kind of
gonna
wonder if
pump
that's going to set up something here.
Somebody's going to take a shot.
3 receivers right side. Handoff again. Carson Baker in the middle there.
It's quickly 3rd down.
Yeah, it seems like Langston Hughes
like
had 3rd down 1,000 times tonight.
Blink your eye and it's 3rd down.
Haven't seen Tiller get a catch since the first play of the game, right?
Yep.
You almost wonder if he's a guy you can get involved here. You kind of got Jaden Harmon lined up across from him. Although they're in zone. That's the handoff, hitting the backfield.
I'll tell you what.
Going to come up short and bring up 4th down.
You're telling me you're going for it with that call.
Yeah.
You hand it off on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5.
I really don't think they can punt again.
Probably, you're right. We talked about it.
And I don't say that harshly or intentionally. I just think that's probably the best strategic idea, is to avoid a situation that's cost you 2 touchdowns.
Going to call timeout.
Timeout.
And, you know, we kind of alluded to this earlier. This is one of those things where this becomes a big 4th down play here coming up with Hughes trying to get back in his football game. So we'll take a quick timeout while they do as well, and we'll come back and show you this 4th down play right after this.
True to Atlanta, true to the South Side. This is our city. Don't miss it. As your Skyhawks take on the Capital City Go-Go. High-action, high-speed G League basketball. Saturday at 6. Only on Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the legends who paved the way for the stars of today. Because when you celebrate the past, you embrace the future. Origin Sports. Run it back.
Peachtree Sports Network. Your home for the Atlanta Gladiators. From the baseline to the sideline. The best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network. Your home for live local sports.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other grocery store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA Choice and Prime meat? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag.
If it weren't a drink from McDonald's, you wouldn't try this hard.
Now get any size frozen drink for $1.79, or get an ice-cold classic lemonade made with real lemon juice. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by Kroger. Boost by Kroger Plus. More savings, more benefits, a new level of membership. Dog Nation. Visit DogNation.com for the latest Georgia team news and recruiting information. Georgia's Rome, where the rivers meet and the mountains begin. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Seatbelts save lives. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to buckle up before every trip. And by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be.
Welcome back, everybody. We step back into live action with a 4th down play here for Langston Hughes. Ball resting at the 39-yard line. Nolan almost acted like he just wants to see if he can get him to jump off sides. Now,
got 8 seconds on the clock. Motion.
Take the handoff. Fighting for it, and boy, with second effort, maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
I mean, it's right on the line. And it took second effort to get there for Justice Savage.
I don't see it based off where he's marked right now. I don't know about that one.
They're going to call it over for a measurement. I mean,
back up, guys.
It looks close.
I mean, it's close.
I think,
you know, Rusty, I think you're right.
I think it's short.
The ball rests on just the other side, kind of at the 39 and a half.
Yep.
And the first down marker is more like the 40 and a half. So I believe you're right, Rusty. That's good vision. I believe he's going to be a couple of feet short here. Yep, just a little bit short. And Rome gets the stop, but Hughes had to do it.
Yeah, I think they got a pretty good spot there, too. I don't think he got that far, just to be honest, because I am directly on that line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So Rome looking good right now, and this time of year, Rome's always looking good. When you think about the Holiday Lights of Rome coming up here very soon, you're going to enjoy the Holiday Lights of Rome at this spectacular drive-through light show. Visit the Coosa Valley Fairgrounds November 24th through December 1st. It's just $20 per car to enjoy the light show. So plan your fun and get event details at romeevents.org. That's romeevents.org. Wolves back on.
See if Rome takes a shot.
They'll put 2 receivers on the left. It's going to be Fountain just deciding to run. Didn't get much there, about a yard.
Just quarterback power there.
Wolves lead 28-7, 2 minutes to go in the half. Fountain fakes the handoff, dumps over to Hester. Hester's been a favorite target tonight. He's down to the 31. Going to be about a yard short with 3rd down here now coming up.
Somebody call timeout. We got a flag.
I don't see a flag, but everybody's stopping to do something. No, there is a flag. I think it may have been. All right, let's see.
Rome's backing
Ineligible
up.
downfield.
Okay.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
So back them up, make them do it again here. Hester has got a good year for Rome. 41 catches, 583 yards, 7 touchdowns coming into tonight. Twin receivers on both sides. They're stacked. Fountain try to avoid pass rush. Pressure coming again. And it's going to be a pass caught. That's Jackson. Brayon Jackson there at the 36.
Good job, Fountain, extending that play just to get anything, not to have a negative play. It was 2nd and 14. Now it's 3rd and 6, picked up 8 because he was able to use his legs to get outside the pocket.
And thus far, Fountain, who's the less heralded of the quarterbacks in this game, has played very well. It certainly held his own and more so. Pressure coming on him now, though. Now just have to try to get rid of it.
Yep.
That's Quay Pitts again with that pressure. Alonzo Jackson was on that too. They call these defensive ends the Bash Brothers. You know, that's their nickname because they've been meeting the quarterback together all year long. Both of them only juniors, so they've got kind of bright future ahead of them.
They're going for this, and I don't think Fountain had the play call. So 17 seconds, plenty of time.
Going to have to hurry now, though, as he checks back on the sideline. You're going to get down to 5 seconds.
I think he'll let the clock run down and call timeout.
And he'll do just that. 82 seconds to go in the half.
Timeout. Wrong.
We'll use this as an opportunity to remind you that football is back and it's time to rise up with your Atlanta Falcons. Still some limited season ticket inventory remaining, so you can select your seats today at atlantafalcons.com/tickets.
What is Falcons football? It's Grady putting quarterbacks on notice. It's Kyle shredding defenses like a unicorn. It's Tyler breaking tackles like phone screens. It's AJ locking down anyone on his island. It's Drake touching the sun. It's ZP breaking another record. What is Falcons football? It's all you dirty birds. Rise up.
All right, 28-7, minute 22 to go in the half. Rome looking at a 4th down, calling a timeout a moment ago. Rusty kind of pointing out that, you know, perhaps a little bit of confusion there between communication, sideline to quarterback. We don't quite have the, what do they call it, the headset technology in the helmets yet?
No.
Although thanks to Michigan, we may all have those.
Oh, man, we might have that already in the Pee-wees next year.
Yes, sooner rather than later. Listen, I can promise you this. If they do ever become more prevailing, you'll have them at 8-year-old football and everything else here in Georgia.
No doubt.
You'll have them for sure.
Right across that levee over that river. I watched the Pee-wee Championship a couple weeks ago. And
so after the timeout, they elect to send Robbie Gardhigh in to punt.
Oh, great punt.
Ball going to roll inside the 10, and it's going to become a touchback.
What was the Langston Hughes defender doing?
Get a little too close to that
away from the ball. That was almost, watch this. Once you see that ball bounce, get away from it. He was trying to shield him from downing the ball, but man, that is a dangerous situation because if you touch that.
That's exactly right. Let's take a look at our path to playoff here for Langston Hughes, presented by Personal Touch Lawn Care. A couple of regular season losses for Hughes, something we did not obviously see a year ago, including a region loss to Douglas County that set up Hughes to come on the road here right now. But last week, 41-7 against North Forsyth. And then as you kind of pointed out earlier, you're looking to see, and we can now pretty much say it's going to be Thomas County Central next round.
Yes.
And for Hughes, that would be a trip down there to Thomasville to go play that game.
See if Rome sits back here. A minute left. Let them just throw the ball underneath a little bit.
Nolan going to crank it up, throw deep. We haven't seen this much. We see it right now in a double coverage. And it's incomplete, and probably lucky that it was. Maurice Gleaton was the intended target.
Yeah, good coverage there.
Javian Winston had the coverage there on that. Stallings in as well on that.
I'm telling you, this score is 28 points. I have been impressed with Rome's defense. I mean, they have given Langston Hughes issues. Look at their DBs are covering. Good job there. Turn your head, but get back around.
Yeah, I mean,
that is great fundamental football.
I think that we saw them for the first game of the season against Cass. I was very pleasantly surprised. They lost to Stefan Greenoff last year. You lost some big guys off this defense, and they've been just as good. You see the pass there. It's complete. That's Gleaton now on the right side. Going to be enough for a first down. Under a minute to go here. So after all of this, Hughes driving to cut this to a 2-score lead. So they've got to take that as a little bit of a small victory here, but they got to cash in to make it matter. Nolan throwing again, far side of the field.
That is a big league throw.
Yeah.
That is a cross the hash, behind the corner, dropped it in a bucket. And when you talk about big league throws, Brandon, that's a big league throw.
He's also trying to take advantage of every second here, rushing his guys back up. Tiller, the tight end, going to be on the right side. He looks left, though, near the sideline. And smartly out of bounds goes Jamari Jones. Jones got a touchdown already today, and he helped stop the clock by getting into bounds right there.
Yeah, you see Rome playing off a little bit right here. But now they're at midfield. Let's see if they tighten back up. They're trying to get guys off the field. Langston Hughes called them, and John Reed called a timeout. They called them trying to sub. Had too many men on the field. Smartly, though, by Coach Reed, calls that timeout before they're assessed a penalty.
Timeout. Wrong.
Kind of a game within the game going on right there. And obviously for the Rome Wolves, looking good here thus far. And we'll give you their path to playoff, presented by Smart Local 85. So it's 56-0 in round one last week. But really it's winning this region, setting up for these back-to-back home games that gives them the value that they're taking advantage of here right now. And as you kind of pointed out, that if it's a Thomas County Central matchup against Rome next week, they got to come up here to Barron Stadium to play that game.
Yeah, come up here. And it's interesting, you don't think about things. I talked to Thomas County Central today, and they're like, hey, or yesterday, like, hey, if we win, we got to get 40 rooms.
You sure do.
So they had to call, and Coach Reed told me that he had already made calls down to South Georgia in case they had to go there. So you don't think about little things like that as a coach, but you have to think ahead and plan things.
Now, the good thing about coming up here is there are a lot of hotel rooms. This is kind of a,
they're playing
tourist town type of thing. Whereas, like down there in Thomasville, now that's a great place.
Well, they weren't going to stay in Thomasville. They were going to stay in South Georgia.
Yeah, right.
But you just don't think about stuff like that, and
just saying like Cordele, somewhere like that.
Yep. I'm a nerd. I like the things behind the game.
Honestly,
I love stuff
the
like
logistical planning is a huge part of being a successful
where you do your walkthrough, where you're going to eat.
43 seconds. Nolan shakes free of the pressure. Now he runs. Haven't seen this much tonight, but he's good when he does, and he slides down near the 26-yard line.
You see the experienced quarterback getting them up already.
Rome trying to sub quickly here, going to try to get a man off, or actually to get into coverage. Once again, throwing over to the sidelines to Jabari Jones. Rome was all kinds of messed up there on that.
I believe Rome had 10 defenders there. Watch this. Feels the pressure, climbs the pocket. That's just an experienced score. You've seen Reese Fountain throw a couple balls away tonight. You see Aaron Nolan there recognized that the Rome defense was ran off in man-to-man coverage.
Nolan's getting more comfortable. Hits Tiller right there.
They're going to call timeout.
Yeah,
I believe that's it,
factor. Believe
timeout,
right.
Langston Hughes, third and final timeout.
Yeah, that'll be their third and final. Carrollton on top of Valdosta right now, state finalist from a year ago, trying to stay alive here at home. Colquitt County on top of Wesley. That's a good game in 7A. Wow, that's a good one.
Yes, it is. Langston Hughes, again, we talked about, gets the ball first, second half. They're trying to steal a possession right here, steal a point. This is a big 23 seconds right here in this football game, Brandon.
Another good battle down in the 5A classification. Ware County on top of Warner Robins right now.
So I think that's the third year in a row they have played, and then last year they played the state championship game. Ware County. You're talking about one of the best football teams in the state last year that people didn't get a chance to watch.
You're right.
Ware County.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
The Gators from Waycross.
That'd be a fun place to go see a game at some point in time.
We need to do that.
Down there in the Okefenokee Swamp.
So we're gonna chalk off 3 places, and I.J. Rosenberg, it's going to cost you. But we're going to go to Elbert County.
Yep.
And we're going to go to Waycross.
Yep, down there in the swamp.
And we're going to go to Moultrie.
I like the idea of doing that too.
At some point, that we're going to check those 3 off.
Good battle going between Walton and North Gwinnett right now.
So Walton just scored to make it 28 to 19.
All right, so back to our game now. 23 seconds in the half.
Got one-on-one coverage at the top.
Let's look over there on the left side at that. Instead, it's a handoff to Savage. They got to be careful. They got no timeouts. That's 4th down.
Yeah, they got to go.
I don't know if they thought they saw something that made that, but they're going to have to hurry here. Under 10 seconds.
He's got to throw the end zone right here.
It's 4th down. Going to throw. Can he get out of bounds? 2, 1. Did he hit to touch the pylon? Okay, so the clock shows 0. Did they run out of time here?
I believe they did.
So Jones got the catch, was trying to get out of bounds. Then he found the sideline, and he touched the pylon, but I believe he may have stepped out first. But the clock goes to 0. Let's watch it again here.
He stepped out. He stepped
out.
Stepped out
right there.
Yeah, good call.
But not before the clock stopped. So a dramatic conclusion, but it results in no points for Hughes. And boy, that's a situation of what might have been right there.
A great call by, I know Langston Hughes is upset with this.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
My marriage kind of took a different path. He told me he was not moving back into the home. My biggest fear was the unknown. What would happen with the children and myself? What would happen with the house? I found Meriwether and Tharp. They told me that they would walk me through this divorce, and they did that tenfold. You need an attorney. You need the best attorney, and that's going to be Meriwether and Tharp.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
And welcome all to the Sports Turf Halftime Show. I'm Kaylee Mansell with our Kroger halftime guests, starting with Jamie McCord, the Floyd County manager, Christy Kent, the communications director of Georgia's Rome Office of Tourism, and Doug Walker, the public information officer of the city of Rome. We've got a big crowd up here tonight, some local celebrities here with me. I'm excited. I want to go to Doug first. We're bringing back the Georgia Elite Classic to Rome this year. We've added a 5th game. Talk about what it's like to host the event, and why do y'all let us come back?
Well, it's a tremendous event. You've literally got the best of the best from all over the state. You've got a lot of folks coming in here from all over the state. It's great for the local economy. The football is truly great, and it gives folks a chance to see some of the future stars across the state. And why do we let you come back? We like you.
It's a mystery. He's being nice. Thank you, Doug. And then, Jamie, we're also going to come back in August for the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. Been here a few times, some new games on the horizon that hopefully we will be able to announce soon. But how special is it to host one of the biggest high school football premier events here in the city of Rome?
Well, it's just great to have these teams here in Rome. Rome's got a huge tradition throughout Rome and Floyd County, Darlington, Unity, all our schools are, private schools as well have a great tradition. There's nothing better than kicking it off in August, except for the heat. It's always a little warm. But it's just a great kickoff to football season, getting it started and looking forward to it again. We love Dave and his group coming in, and I think it's a great venue for it.
Christy, being from Rome, I know that one of the best times to come back here is for the holiday season. Broad Street is all lit up. What sort of holiday events does Rome have going on that's coming up?
Yeah, Rome has over 30 different holiday events this year. So we have got ice skating, light shows, we have art markets, we have parades, we have live holiday entertainment. We've got a little bit of everything for everyone, families. So we're excited to have. One of the newest things that we have is ice skating at the park. So outdoor ice skating. We'll have a light maze out there that you can go through. We have a drive-through light show. As you mentioned, downtown will be all decked out for the holidays. Great place to go for dining and shopping. Get uniquely Rome items and taste our cuisine.
Doug, here in Barron Stadium, we've been here plenty of times. It's one of the most historical places in Rome, and next year it's going to celebrate 100 years of being here. Can we expect any sort of celebrations for it?
Oh, I think definitely. The athletic director at Rome High, Chris Bowden, has been busy all year this year trying to put together a schedule of events, special events virtually for every home game. Of course, next year is the first year of a new classification group, so we'll probably have some new folks coming to Rome experiencing it for the first time. One thing that your folks may not know, the stadium was originally not laid out this way.
Wow.
It was more of an east-west stadium. Now it's a little bit more of a northeast-southwest, but it's been this way for a good while.
Now, Jamie, invites for a Georgia Elite Classic have already gone out. A lot of parents are going to be coming into town December 27th through 29th. If you could tell them one thing that they should do in Rome while they're here, what would it be?
Well, go downtown. Downtown's our crown jewel. We love it. Or even visit Barry or any of our other amenities. You've got choices throughout Rome and Floyd County, but downtown's the jewel. It's great, and certainly you can do it. You really just got to walk across the street and cross the bridge, so it's pretty neat.
Now, Christy, working in the Office of Tourism, would you add anything to Jamie's statement?
Yeah, I would say that we do have so much going on, including live entertainment. So we've got live productions. You can go see Elf the Musical. You can go see live Christmas concerts at the historic auditorium that we have. So you can go see our Dolly Christmas special, our rock and roll Christmas special. So we have a lot going on in downtown.
Well, Christy, Doug, Jamie, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys here at the Georgia Elite Classic on December 29th. I'm very much looking forward to it. Again, thank you for joining me. Now let's take a look at the Rome High School Band, brought to you by Meriwether and Tharp.
At Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app to order, and our friendly staff will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If it weren't a drink from McDonald's, you wouldn't try this hard.
Now get any size frozen drink for $1.79 or get an ice-cold classic lemonade made with real lemon juice. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
How would you like to do something really different one weekend a month?
Charlie 2-2, this is Charlie 2-1. Thank you, Sergeant.
If you've got what it takes, come join us. To learn more about the State Defense Force, go to georgiavolunteer.com.
Welcome to today's segment of Talking Trades. I'm Ashley Rose. Today we're joined by Steve Langley of the Sheet Metal Workers. Now, Steve, explain a little bit about what Smart 85 is and what it stands for.
So Smart 85, my portion is Sheet Metal Workers, but it's sheet metal, rail, air, and transportation. We actually represent sheet metal workers. We represent train engineers and conductors, a few pilots, stewardesses, and bus drivers.
Now, how did you get into the trades?
So my father-in-law was a business representative of Local 85, and I'd got laid off at Lockheed, so he asked me if I would like to join the sheet metal, and I did 33 years ago.
Wow, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's been quite an adventure. I went through the apprenticeship, became a journey person, became a foreman or foreperson. Then I got into the politics of the local, and I've moved my way up all the way to business manager.
Now, speaking of your start in the apprenticeship program, you guys are opening a new office and apprenticeship schools. So tell us a little bit about the property.
So we have currently we have a building, the whole building is 9,000 square foot for the apprenticeship. Just the shop area is 13,000 square foot. Wow. And that's just that part of it. And then we have another section that's going to have 40 welding booths. We've got a tab lab that's going in. We have a computer room to learn how to do Rivet, which is computer stuff, and then we have other classrooms. So we're over tripling the size of the school.
Now, how will this help the apprentices' ability to enhance their training?
So there's so many facets of sheet metal that they all go through core classes, of course, but then they get to choose their pathway of which way they want to go in the sheet metal industry.
And for these guys and gals that are watching that want to learn more and be part of this apprenticeship program, especially as it grows tremendously over the next few years, where can they find out more?
Smart85.org. And it's a short little thing, and then our organizer will get in touch with them and get them to work.
Makes it easy. Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Talking Trades. We really appreciate it, and we will be back next week with more.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision, our team brings it to life.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
to redefine yourself,
to improve yourself,
to challenge yourself,
to realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
the best training,
the best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
And welcome back to the Sports Turf Halftime Show. I'm Kayla Mansell with Score Atlanta reporter Craig Sager. Craig, the last time that we saw Rome was when they got beat by Carrollton. Did not move the ball on the ground very well. You said before the game, if Rome wants to have a chance tonight, they've got to run the ball well. Do you think they're doing that this far?
That's right. We mentioned that Carrollton was the common opponent, so Rome only had 10 rushing yards in the first half when they lost that one. That was their only loss of the season. I thought they just came out fast offensively. 3 plays ran, and they were already up 14-0. The big pass to D.K. Daniel to open it up. So I think Rusty and Brandon mentioned it. Rome took a deep shot early, but they haven't really tried to test that Langston Hughes secondary. We'll see if they go deep again.
Langston Hughes went down 28-0, but got a little burst of momentum there in the second quarter. What can that be attributed to?
Yeah, it was tough. I was on the sidelines right when Rome went up 28-0, and then Prentice Nolan, the senior quarterback, you view him as a guy with that quiet leadership, but he was vocal. He gathered the team together, gave a speech. I was talking to Coach Boone, but I think that really motivated them. And if you look at the second quarter, they hold Rome scoreless. Rome missed that field goal. Hughes really started to recapture the momentum. They're going to get the ball first, a huge drive. They have to just come out with some energy, put it in the end zone, and I think we have a ball game.
Well, it's 28-7 here at the half, but let's take a look at some other scores going on across the state tonight. This is our scoreboard brought to you by Score Atlanta. Mill Creek shutting out Peachtree Ridge right now, 35-0 in the third quarter. Buford upsetting Norcross at the moment, 21-10. Norcross got a tough draw there. Buford is a 2 seed, but really they could be number 1 just about anywhere else. Grayson up on North Paulding in the third quarter. Craig, what sticks out?
Defense is starting to win championships with those games. You look at Mill Creek's defense, Buford defense, they've been shutting down Norcross in that second half. Grayson pulling away, and then Collins Hill, they've one of the few rematches from the regular season. It was a sloppy game last time. Collins Hill had 5 turnovers, so I really think that one's going to be an interesting fourth quarter. And then Woodward Academy, a sleeper in 6A for sure. That defense has been phenomenal, giving up only 7 points a game this season.
And moving on to our next set of scores, Spalding shutting out Troup County in the third as of right now. Perry upsetting Bainbridge. And then we've got Walton up on North Gwinnett right now. Craig, what do you got?
Yeah, North Gwinnett hasn't been in front. Walton's been in front the whole game, but they're starting to pull away. Cam Lloyd has come up with some huge touchdown catches for that Walton offense. They're getting going. And then I think the Perry result's big. Bainbridge has not lost within the classification this year, and that one's in the fourth quarter now. It would be a huge win for Perry, who had to replace their quarterback, bring in a junior starter that only had 10 attempts before this season. So great job by Coach Smith.
And moving on to our next set of scores, Carrollton is up on Valdosta right now, 31-7. Wow, that's a long drive for Valdosta, isn't it? But Carrollton, number 1 seed, sophomore quarterback Juju Lewis, they are going to be tough to beat, as well as Colquitt. Westlake is probably giving Colquitt the best fight that we've seen anybody give them all year. Colquitt County just dominating South Georgia in all of 7A, and then Thomas County Central. We've said it all year. They're definitely the team to beat for that 6A classification, and they're showing why with a 42-0 score in the third quarter.
There's always a 0 next to that Thomas County Central score. Their defense has been unbelievable.
Yep.
Jonesboro, of course, is coming off that big win over Glenn Academy. I think with the Carrollton Valdosta, that was a 10-7 game at the half, so they had a huge third quarter, put up 3 touchdowns. And then I'm interested in that Westlake one because I think Colquitt County's quarterback did get hurt last round. I know he was trying to go, so maybe that's a factor. That is my first time seeing that score, so we'll look into it.
And moving on to our next set of scores, another solid 6A team. Gainesville is up on Blessed Trinity, 35-5 in the fourth quarter right now. Marist shutting out Brunswick. We got the chance to see Marist earlier this year. Man, their offense is just really hard to figure out.
Yeah, that's a big win for Marist for sure. Really impressive playoff victory for them. I know the Dalton Creekside one's getting really interesting. Dalton was up 24-21, and then Creekside just went up to take that 4-point lead. And then Hiram and Jefferson finally has a lead. They've been behind most of the game. I know Sammy Brown's probably getting all the carries in that one.
It is important to note, though, that Dalton, Hiram, Cartersville, Cass, all a part of the same region. All of their games are really close right now, so it just goes to show you how tough that region is. All right, guys, the second half is about to begin, so make sure to stay tuned because we've got more football coming up right after the break.
We're here!
Thanksgiving. It's part of the fabric and culture of our country. What a great time for families to reconnect and hand down generations of stories. Not only does Thanksgiving build the bonds of family, but also our neighborhoods and communities.
Well, are you coming?
I was just waiting for you to ask.
Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Hi, I'm Chris with MaximumCashHomebuyers.com. Skip the baloney and the headache of realtors, showings, inspections, and repairs. Sell fast and easy to someone you trust. Inherited a home? I got you. Vacant house? I'll buy it. Home that needs work? Even better. No inspections, no fees, no gotchas, and no empty promises. If you need a stress-free guaranteed cash offer, I'm your guy. Let me prove to you why I'm Atlanta's most trusted cash home buyer. Call 678-905-9000. That's 678-905-9000.
True to Atlanta, true to the South Side. This is our city. Don't miss it. As your Skyhawks take on the Capital City Go-Go. High-action, high-speed G League basketball. Saturday at 6. Only on Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the legends of the game who paved the way for the stars of today.
Get out of his way!
Origin Sports showcases sports history that is as relevant today as it was in past. Origin Sports. Run it back.
Welcome back, everybody. You see our halftime score, perhaps a little bit of a surprise, at least the margin. Rome on top of Langston Hughes, 28-7, our drive to the GHSA state title, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. And let's take a look at kind of how we got here. Brandon Adams and Rusty Manziel, our halftime stats, presented by the Mechanical Trades Institute. What's interesting, Rusty, is I believe Rome has about as little yardage as you could possibly have to have 4 first-half touchdowns. Really, all 4 of those touchdowns come in the first quarter.
If I showed you that before the game, you'd say, okay, Rome's down 28-7. They had 4 first downs and 4 touchdowns. You don't see that much.
You don't, and you see the Langston Hughes side perhaps starting to get it going a little bit offensively, getting up over 200 yards for the half. Of course, the big issue for them, those 2 miscues on punts, both of which result in quick touchdowns for Rome. That's kind of the story of the first half here right now. And once again, those halftime stats brought to you by the Mechanical Trades Institute. How about our halftime highlights here, brought to you by Ford? And on the Rome side, there were certainly plenty of those, including Reese Fountain on the beginning of the game, the first play of the game right there to DK Daniel. And then that's one of those punt issues that we talked about for Langston
On a
Hughes.
penalty, they made him snap it again, Brandon.
Is Xavier Tiller over his head, and he goes way back to get it, and then Reese Fountain would get a chance to rush the ball, and he'd get a rushing touchdown. One of 3 rushing touchdowns the first half. Then Aaron Nolan kind of throwing over his shoulder, kind of an odd release from him on that, and that was his only interception the first half. Then Javarius McDermott had a touchdown, and then another punting issue. I called it to be blocked, but the truth is it wasn't. It was just
a bad snap that put him in a situation.
A rushed punt by Tiller because he thought pressure was coming. But then Langston Hughes would battle back and get a touchdown. Jabari Jones hauled that one in. And then driving late, you thought that Hughes might have a chance to get into the end zone.
This is the play here.
Yeah,
man.
Let's watch it again. It was Maurice Galeton who took it all the way down, tried to perhaps get out of bounds, then thought maybe he had a chance to get to the pylon, but instead he stepped out of bounds. The clock struck 0, and Hughes misses out on points in the half, but they do get the football to begin the third quarter. And speaking of the second half, we'll be ready to show you that here in a moment, but one more quick commercial timeout before we get there. We're happy to have you with us on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Planting season is here, and it's time to get your yard looking its best. So treat your yard to the perfect touch from the professionals at Personal Touch Lawn Care. Mowing, maintenance, design, and construction. Personal Touch Lawn Care does it all.
If my yard is taken care of, it's one thing off my list that I don't have to worry about.
Sign up now for monthly maintenance and get the 12th month free.
Big enough to serve you, small enough to know you.
Personal Touch Lawn Care, 770-908-1238 or online at ptlcatlanta.com.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $4,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer and discover your best summer ever.
The drive for the GHSA state title is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Brandon Adams, Rusty Mansell, Kaylee Mansell's got our host position. Craig Sager Jr. is handling our coaches' interviews. And we're in the second round of the GHSA state playoffs here in the 6A classification, where Rome, the winner of Region 6 6A, is on top of Langston Hughes right now, the defending 6A state champs, and the runner-up, second seed, coming out of Region 5 in 6A. Of course, earlier this year, Langston Hughes was upset by Douglas County. And if memory serves correct, which oftentimes it doesn't, I believe we were at Rome the night that Langston Hughes was upset by Douglas County.
Might have been. Yeah, we kept thinking it was a back-and-forth game, and you start seeing those scores. Craig Sager sent me a text, and interesting here, at the Cass Mays game, the lights have went out, and they have been unable to get them back on for a while.
My goodness.
So the game has been in a 35, 40-minute halftime delay, and they're not sure when they're going to be able to resume it.
Well,
the night the lights went out in Georgia, I mean, you can walk right into that, but man.
So if you're Cass, you just drive all the way back to Bartow County and turn.
He's going to make them play somewhere tonight in DeKalb County. or Fulton, AP, Atlanta Public Schools.
That is
a wild one there.
Yeah, that's a situation. The last time we saw the score, it was a big Cass lead, too.
Yeah.
Or I should say it's 14-0. We have it as the lead. So interesting there.
Got some time to make some adjustments if you're Mays.
Yeah, of course, that's the team that eliminated Cass in the playoffs a year ago. So Langston Hughes will have it to start the second half. Lights, no problem here. Oh, it's intercepted on the first play of the second half. Trying to get the ball to Jabari Jones, but it's going to be a diving interception. Let's see it again. Was it Jaden Harmon who got that?
Let's see, man. What a step right in here. Yes,
sure was.
Jaden Harmon. Wow.
What an athlete.
Big four-star athlete. A lot of offers for the junior. What a play.
Man,
and you drop into coverage. He tried to layer that ball over the linebacker, but that's exactly what you want to see. First play of the second half, and your four-star linebacker makes a play on the Ohio State quarterback commit.
Now, we talked about this in the first half. Same receiver, too, kind of throwing the ball right into a bucket over there near the sideline. Not an easy throw.
Got to layer
this particular time, though, boy, that was a high degree of difficulty, it seemed like. McDermott going to carry the ball slammed down by by Quay Pitts, one of the guys in on that stop. That just seemed like a high degree of difficulty throw to me.
That's a tough throw, man. Tough throw. You got to layer it. But listen, that was a great play by Jaden Harmon. That shows
absolutely.
how athletic he was to be able to drop into space and to go get that ball.
Hand off to Chance Arthur. Arthur kind of this sort of two-headed monster at running back for Rome. And really during the season, they got a pretty good year out of Joseph Butts, a junior too. So they spread it around a pretty good bit. But Arthur and McDermott kind of the 1-2 punch.
Give you the story on Arthur, and you're going to remember this now. You remember a couple years ago when we had Kennesaw Mountain in Alatoona?
Yep.
He was the freshman running back from Kennesaw Mountain that scored on the 1 yard line.
Sure he was.
His father,
That's right.
His father moved here, so he moved up with him a couple years ago. But Chance Arthur has been on the scene since he was a freshman in that big game against Alatoona for Kennesaw Mountain a couple years ago.
Rome keeps the offense here on 4th down. Fountain goes straight ahead. Took a big hit.
Shot, I don't think he got it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit short there.
Big stop by Langston Hughes there, not to give up anything.
I think it was Alonzo Jackson that wrapped him up. Either way, it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Basically start the second half, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Trade
now,
possessions.
so, yeah, if you're a Langston Hughes fan, you kind of think of it that way. Okay, now the second half begins.
Yep. What kind of adjustments have you made here by both teams?
Buford starting to extend its lead a bit against Norcross right now. I tell you, Grayson's, we saw North Paulding. I was impressed by North Paulding, and right now, by appearances, Grayson's having no problem there. That's going to be a pretty impressive second-round win if that score holds.
Yep.
Here's Nolan, going to dump off to Savage. Savage met right away. Harmon over there again. JV and Winston as well on that stop.
If all these scores hold, it's going to be Buford at Grayson next week. And if I'm understanding right, it'll be the first time they've ever played.
Is that right?
I think so.
Two heritage programs, kind of two of the biggest programs in the state in the 21st century, right? I mean, interesting battle there. By the way, Creekside's rallied back to take a lead against Dalton. Nolan on second down, going to hand the ball off, fighting across the 30-yard line.
They have wanted to run the football.
They really have. That was Savage again. All right, so you're going to look at about 3rd and 3 now. Wolves fans making some noise here. Nolan looking over to the sideline. He's got 3 receivers. Going to do an RPO play again. Finds his guy Jones again. Jones still running. Going to get out of bounds at the 48-yard line. They actually call it the 49, but either way, it's well beyond the first down marker. And so you called it earlier. When he runs the RPO like that, he's dangerous.
I mean, that's a flick of the wrist, man, and that's the best way to describe that. And that's their bread and butter. Got to be able to run the football, though, for that to work, and they were able to do that a play before, Brandon.
It's also what we saw Julian Lewis have a lot of success with in the same stadium, kind of those types of plays. John Reed said, hey, that was the day our young linebackers kind of really grew up. And
Jaden Harmon was hurt.
Jaden Harmon was hurt that day, tried to give it a go. And you had guys who, John Reed kind of says these were sort of our rookie linebackers. Guys had not played a ton. And, experienced quarterbacks in the state of Georgia right now, they're going to freeze you with that little pop pass play like that, and they're going to find a way to move the chains on you. 2nd and 4 now. Again, same play. This is the tight end again, Xavier Tiller. I believe just the 2nd catch of the game for Tiller after he was the first target on the first play from scrimmage to begin tonight for Langston Hughes.
They're going to be in hurry up the whole second half right here. They're up on the ball again. Another
ball sits 32 now into Wolves territory. As Rusty said, the Panthers are on the move. Getting it out quick again is Nolan, but quick to the football as well. is that defense, and it's incomplete. Brandon Gates was the intended target. Joe Wilkinson, one of the guys that had coverage on that once again. And boy, John Reed, he'll tell you about Joe Wilkinson. Obviously an Appalachian State commit, and that's a wonderful commitment. But it seems like, you talk to folks around here, including John Reed, there's also some growing Power 5 attention to Wilkinson right now.
Starting to get some attention on him. And
it's 3 receivers on the right side. Tiller's the tight end, kind of detached as a slot. Running back Savage goes in motion too. Nolan's going to find his receiver. Could not hold on. That was Caleb Young. And he had it, bobbled it, took a big hit, and it's an incomplete.
that might have been the best ball he's thrown all night. And just unfortunately for Nolan, that ball was dropped. Look at that spot he throws that in. He throws that in between 4 Rome defenders.
And look, doing battle with this Rome secondary is no easy feat,
No.
but, Nolan's probably been hurt tonight by 3 drops.
Correct. Yep. 3-by-1 set here. Rome showing blitz.
3rd down. Nolan going to throw. Oh, no. Kind of up for grabs, and it becomes an interception. I don't know if that's a miscommunication or what.
Yeah, that something was not right because there was nobody there.
It's Ryan Sykes who comes up with the pick.
That was pitch and catch with a Rome defender.
Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. This just seemed to be really odd.
Just watch him. Yeah, I think he thought 25 was going to turn up.
Yeah, kind of his receiver may have stopped. Either way, it's another turnover. 3rd interception of the game, 2nd here in the 3rd quarter. Rome's got the football again right after this.
The Ingalls advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingalls Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingalls Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports. True to Atlanta, true to the South Side. This is our city. Don't miss it. As your Skyhawks take on the Capital City Go-Go. High-action, high-speed G League basketball. Saturday at 6. Only on Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the legends who paved the way for the stars of today. Because when you celebrate the past, you embrace the future. Origin Sports. Run it back.
Peachtree Sports Network. Your home for high school football. The GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com drive for the GHSA state title is sponsored by the Mechanical Trades Institute, the best kept secret everyone should know about. Smart Local 85, sheet metal is a smart move. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow. The Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, careersinsheetmetal.com, building a solid future. The Atlanta Falcons, rise up Dirty Birds. And by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. Together, we can make a difference.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You see the scene there on the Rome sideline after forcing another interception. Ryan Sykes getting involved on that one. 3 against Prentice Air Nolan tonight. Just 5 for him on the year. He's more than 60% of his, season total of interceptions has been matched already tonight.
You've seen Coach Williams talking to him on the sideline. He started to force things a little bit. Down 21 in the second half and just trying to make something happen.
Fountain also looking to make something happen, throwing near the sideline. DK Daniel has been quiet since his 50-yard touchdown catch to begin the game.
It's almost like you're seeing Rome. Don't make a mistake. Let's keep this thing where it is right now. But you want the clock to run.
Right. That's the problem with an incompletion like that right there.
Good job, protection.
Fountain throwing again. That's a pass caught.
It'll be short.
Yeah, it's going to be short.
And John Reed does not like that spot.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense.
Wow.
That's a big penalty.
Boy, you talk about really getting bailed out on this. A drive for Rome that's not really going anywhere. And all of a sudden, Hughes, who needs to get off the field, gives up the rushing the passer there.
So you want to mark this, Brandon. At 8 minutes and 9 seconds, you get a personal foul. Would have got the ball back. Let's see where Langston Hughes gets it and what that penalty cost him, either on the scoreboard or in time.
Yeah, that's a big, big play in this game. Hughes obviously wants to get pressure, but you got to do it within the boundary here. And that's a strike to Stallings, and Tyneria Stallings gets another first down for Rome. That's a handoff.
Great pull.
Hey, how about that? Reese Fountain fakes the handoff, faked me out.
Great pull.
And the entire Langston Hughes defense there, too. Pulled it right back and kept right on going.
That's an absolute perfect read by a 4-year starter. Gives them the first down signal. Got a player down for Langston Hughes. But watch this read and pull right there. Great job by this senior quarterback. Shows some wheels, gets out in space. And he has played a football game tonight for the Rome Wolves.
He really has. A guy that's been a 4-year starter here. We talked about, Prentice Nolan and his 10,000 career passing yards coming in tonight. You're talking about Reese Fountain more than 8,500 yards passing in his own right. And the man slow to get up for Langston Hughes is Amir Glenn. Seems to be walking off on his own power, but a little worse for the wear, perhaps. As Rome gets back to it offensively, they'll do so in the red zone, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Up 3 touchdowns and looking for more. Fountain is not in a hurry. Back goes in motion. Now Fountain on the quarterback keeper again, bumps into an official, and then gets down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, the official got him there, but when they go empty motion in that formation, they've ran quarterback draw every time tonight, and Fountain's hurt him with his legs. Watch the motion, empties the backfield, good block, get on the second level. Referee slowed him up a little.
McDermott now.
How big was that personal foul?
It looms very big right now, and it may be final blow here.
This could be one of the knockout punches here if Rome can punch this thing in.
You saw McDermott hop up after that carry. He certainly thinks that's the case. They're eager to try to put it in here. Hughes eager to try to stop it. Get receivers a pair on both sides. Back goes empty again. This time they dump it off to McDermott. He's going to go into the end zone. Second touchdown of the night for Javarius McDermott. And Rome is now up 34-7 with a PAT on the way.
Great play call, man. They changed the play after the formation. Flip-flopped the back. Just easy pitch and catch there for Fountain to McDermott.
Jacob Fisher has been the guy called on for PAT duty tonight. And he makes it a 35-7 ball game. And there are some scores that get the attention statewide.
This one's
and
gonna
you
get
better believe everybody everywhere is noticing what Rome is doing tonight. What a performance. We'll be right back.
What's so great about being a Kroger Boost member? Free delivery on the Kroger products you love, and more rewards too, like double fuel points on everything you buy. Experience a new level of membership, starting as low as $59 a year with Boost by Kroger Plus. Learn more at Kroger.com today.
Are you ready to serve and protect the citizens of Gwinnett County? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office offers a range of career paths, starting from entry-level jailer to jailer officer lieutenant. Take advantage of our sign-on bonus up to $4,700 and become a guardian of your community today. Explore the possibilities for a brighter future by visiting GoGCSO.com and pave the way for your career advancement. Go GCSO.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get select Ford F-150 trucks with 3.9% financing for 60 months, plus get up to $1,500 cash back with your trade-in, only at your local Ford dealer.
And how about this score, folks? 35-7. Rome on top of the defending 6A state champion Langston Hughes. Last year, Hughes, you could make a case, was the best team in the state, regardless of classification. A nationally known, nationally ranked team, but it's all Rome here tonight. You just saw that Breda Pest Management scoring summary that gives you an idea of just how true that is. And if Hughes is going to do anything about this, the time to do that is right now, because it is getting late early.
Yeah, so you're down 4 touchdowns. So you usually think 3 possessions per quarter if things go well. So you're down 28. You're thinking you get 5 more possessions. You better start scoring some touchdowns.
The one thing that just hasn't really been there tonight, now you also now add 3 turnovers to this, and obviously the couple of miscues in the punts that were devastating the first half. But the big strike deep down the field, the explosive play that I think we got so used to seeing from Hughes a year ago and have seen a lot this year, we have not seen that tonight.
And credit to Rome defense, because they're not giving, I don't think Langston Hughes has the confidence to throw that right now because they can't protect against this Rome defensive line.
You see John Reed, a veteran of so many of these types of games. Flag comes in. That blows the play dead before it even begins.
Again.
Delay a game. Offense.
Again, you
5-yard penalty.
As a Rome program, you think about what happened last year, and to get beat like that, to get embarrassed, and to have that sitting on you the entire offseason and have a team do that to you, you know that they had to think about that every single day they went in that weight room, thinking about Langston Hughes and can we get another shot at him.
Well, also, it's the thought too of, okay, for a state championship program a few years ago, sometimes when you slip below that standard, you have a hard time kind of getting back there again. And a win tonight, I think, would put Rome right back in the conversation to really win the whole thing in 6A.
I think 6A, I said it tonight, there's about 8 teams that win this thing. You start talking about Gainesville, Woodward Academy defensively, Thomas County Central may have the best defense in the entire state. Looks like they could lock up with Rome next weekend right here. So,
I mean, the thing that's impressive about Thomas County Central right now is the fact that the dominance they've shown, they've also shown one of the toughest regions.
Yes, Lee County is another team, it's always going to be a tough out. Douglas County is going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
So this 7A gets a lot of attention, but I'm telling you now, when you start looking at these matchups next week for this 6A, there's going to be some tough football games to see who advances.
I don't think there's any doubt that's true.
Look at Calvary Day.
You're looking at third down here for Langston Hughes. Oh, try to do the RPO type play again, and Nolan had to struggle to get the ball back. He tried to pull it back out of Justice's hands and then did so, and then amazingly he got a pass off and a completion there.
Oh, wow.
So here comes Langston Hughes offensively. Fresh set of downs. Handoff to the 45. First carry of the night for TK Brown. By the way, I want to give you an idea here. There's some fun stuff coming next week. I've got a special pregame show beginning at 7:30 p.m. Kind of taking a look at all of the quarterfinal matchups.
How much turkey and dressing I have? We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But Rusty talked about just the deep bracket, the matchups we're going to be seeing across multiple classifications next week, and we'll set the stage for that next week starting at 7:30 p.m. One of the best things about being on the Peachtree Sports Network, get a chance to sort of spread ourselves out a little bit and do a little more coverage, which I know we're all really excited about. There's Nolan again to throw, looking towards the sideline. It's a pass caught up to the 46-yard line. Once again goes Jabari Jones. That's been the target when they've tried to throw to that sideline all night.
Yeah, Rome is perfectly fine allowing them to do this. Throw these short intermediate routes and just tackle in space.
How about Mill Creek? 52-6 on our Breda Pass Management score ticker.
Looks like they found 11.
And then Norcross trying to stage a little bit of a comeback. I'm not quite sure how much time is left there, but Norcross eating into that Buford lead. Nolan runs the RPO again and dumps off to his receiver again, Jabari Jones, and that's going to be good for another first down. But as Rusty said, it's clock that becomes an enemy here as much as the deficit without the big chunk play.
Yeah, they're content. Let them do this. Let the clock run.
Of course, for Prentice Air Nolan, a state champion a year ago, you talked to Boone Williams this week. One of the things that really motivated Nolan was the chance to come back and play a state championship in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, something he has not gotten a chance to do yet in his career as he runs here now. Across the 45 down to around the 43. That's part of the motivation he played with was the idea of getting a chance to play that game in the Benz.
Everybody, that's a huge deal to play in Mercedes this year, and glad that we're back in that building and look forward to doing a couple of those state championship games.
Coach Williams also told a really good story about Nolan this week. Obviously, the Elite 11 camp back this summer, but spending time up there while at the camp on GroupMe, which is a kind of a chat platform software, talking with his teammates here back locally as he tries to connect with his tight end. His tight end can't hold on. That was Xavier Tiller, and he took a big shot in the knee. I hope he's okay.
I hope he gets up right here.
I do as well. It may have just been one of those just kind of hot shots that you just feel in the moment.
Knee.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kind of floats this ball. Yeah, I think his helmet come across his knee. Hopefully it's just a kind of a stinger there.
Yeah, it seems like, that's the kind of throw in the past we've seen Nolan really kind of zip it in there on. We'll do our injury report here presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and we'll keep our eye on Tiller both tonight and long term. Obviously one of the most impressive prospects in this game. Throwing towards the sideline here on the left side. It's caught by Antonio Sledge, but he had to go down to a knee to retrieve it.
Not sure what's in the water tonight, but the lights just went out at North Gwinnett, and it is complete darkness.
Unbelievable. So
two different locations
Two
tonight.
completely different locations where power has been an issue.
These light shows are going to have to back these things off.
I guess so. The Cass-Mays game has been impacted by that. We've had a long delay there. And now you've got that with North Gwinnett.
Yeah, Walton.
And Walton as well. And these are not places that are in any way really close to each other. That's Savage catches the ball there at the 35-yard line, gets down at 31. Now, I don't believe either of those two stadiums. We were just at North Gwinnett a few weeks ago. They don't have the LED lights.
They don't. No, that game was at Walton, and I know
they don't have the LED. Yeah, they don't have those yet either.
And at Mays, don't think that they have it either.
Yeah, because that's at Lakewood Stadium tonight. Is that right?
Yep.
Really strange.
That's.
Of course, some coaches may think, hey, listen, you get down a couple of scores, maybe all of a sudden the switch gets thrown.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course, when I say that.
Just means more.
Minute 43 here in the third quarter. Nolan again. Over there with Jones. Boy, Jones has got to be working on a good night. He's got a touchdown and multitude of catches. Ball going to sit to 30. Line to make here is going to be the 28-ish. So, third down. Snap to Nolan. Nolan throwing over here, and same basic play they've been running on this drive. They just weren't on the other side of the field to Jabari Jones. They've made that look easy, but I think as Rusty has pointed out, Rome is more than happy to give up that easy play as opposed to something that cuts a little deeper into this lead.
I mean, you're almost right now running like a 2-minute offense for them. They're working the sidelines trying to save clock, but Rome's perfectly content to let them 3 and 4 yard down the field.
90 seconds in the third quarter. It has been all Wolves for most of the night. 4 down linemen for them. Nolan, pressure coming. Gonna have a hard time getting away. Rolls to his right. Now throwing kind of off his back foot and well out of bounds. It was Jabari Jones, the intended target again. Ryan Sykes had the coverage.
A player down for Rome.
Yeah, there is a Wolf defender down.
We have official timeout on the play.
Unless something crazy happens, you're looking at probably the last quarter of that young man playing here at Langston Hughes. And
what a career he's had.
I'll tell you this, I've covered him for 4 years, went up to him before the game, and that is a very polished young man.
Very impressive indeed. And while we have a moment here, and we'll give you an update on the injured player here, let's also remind you that Rome's got some fun things coming up here, including the largest and oldest Christmas parade in the state here in Rome, Georgia. The parade's going to be held on Broad Street and begins at 6:30 p.m. on November 28th. You can watch a live broadcast of the parade on Georgia's Rome Facebook page. So plan your fun and get event details at romeevents.org. That's romeevents.org. So that's Rashard Sullivan, defensive lineman who was injured on the play. So we'll keep our eye on Sullivan here. And you mentioned just sort of the polished nature of Aaron Nolan. We talked about, being in the Elite 11 camp and staying in communication with his high school teammates while he was up there. A guy that really has not really sought the limelight. We're in a very deep era for quarterback play in Georgia, but you don't really hear Nolan trying to pump himself up too much in comparison to guys like Juju Lewis from Carrollton or obviously now Dylan Raiola at Buford. It seems like Nolan's sort of content to let others kind of have the spotlight.
Never once asked me about his ranking, never once asked me about his profile, never once said this, never once said that. Just went out and competed, went to camps, played in all-star games.
Delay a game. Offense.
Penalty on Hughes, going to back him up. And I mentioned this during the opening. John Reed, who's a man of sometimes can be very succinct and sort of to the point, said, you asked him about Nolan this week. He's like, well, listen, he's a quarterback going to Ohio State, which means he's probably an NFL quarterback as well, because that's pretty much the only kinds of quarterbacks that seem to come through that program. Nolan now taking the snap and rolling right, throwing toward the sideline again. This time, Jabari Jones stays in bounds and still on his feet inside the 20-yard line. So another first down for Hughes. They're just sort of nibbling 5-10 yards at a time, going from one sideline to the other. And now in the red zone, presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Under a minute, third quarter, third down. Boy, Hughes needs to take advantage of every opportunity it can get. And for Rome, it's all about watching this next 12 minutes plus go by with the thought of advancing to the state quarterfinals. Low snap, Nolan picks it up off the turf and then throws, and it's his tight end, Xavier Tiller, who catches it for a touchdown. That's good news for Hughes because Tiller's back in from injury, and also a chance to kind of cut into this lead a little bit there as well. So second touchdown throw of the evening for Nolan. And Tiller, the sophomore, gets on the board.
Yeah, bad snap, and Nolan makes the best of it. See the ball, keeps his eyes down the field, sets the pocket, delivers a really nice ball. And Tiller there, I've been impressed with him, man. That's the next superstar at Langston Hughes.
Yeah, Boone Williams told us this week he's going to be a great one. He's already a phenomenal one. We've certainly seen enough of that. 20 catches, 6 touchdowns coming into tonight. He's got 3 more receptions and a touchdown to add to that season-long stat line. 6'4", 230 pounds. KJ McLean's extra point is good. So down 3 scores with a quarter to come. Like, you are just kind of like right on the cusp of what's still possible here. But you're going to take advantage of every opportunity if you're Hughes to even give yourself a chance. And speaking of giving yourself a chance, what you want to give yourself a chance to do is avoid those termites here in Georgia. You know that's a real thing. And when you see a football field like the one in front of you, there's room for 1 million termites on a field like this. So when you think about the same type of thing with your lawn, what's stopping those termites from finding your home? That's where Breda Pest Management steps in to protect your home from termites and prevent these silent destroyers from costing you thousands of dollars in damage. You can find out more at BredaPest.com. That's B-R-E-D-A, BredaPest.com. 27 seconds left here in the third quarter. Do you try to get crazy with a kickoff here at all? Do you try to put it out there short and see if something funny happens?
Yeah, you got to steal possessions right here. You can't mess around. I mean, you've got to steal possessions, and Rome offensively has been successful moving the ball.
Yeah, you see our scoring summary presented by Breda Pest Management to give you an idea. You know, you get the touchdown that you needed, but it took you 6 minutes and 15 plays to do so. They kick it deep instead. Stallings going to go back there for the return.
They got the block.
He looks for that block. Instead, gets there at the 39-yard line.
And they had it blocked up top, and Langston Hughes was able to kind of converge on it. But, man, you're talking about 2 guys from Rome dominating an outside edge. And when you see a double team like that on special teams, you see a guy basically on skates, there's a lane. He just missed it.
21 seconds to go in the third quarter. You see John Reed, the longtime coach here at Rome, very successful, walking away from the huddle after giving a message to his troops. Barron Stadium has been a site to so many big games over the years, and I don't know how often the Wolves have looked better than they perhaps have tonight.
Tell you what, this game right here is going to go down. They beat Buford one night, I believe, 49-7 here in the semis.
Hand off to Chance Arthur this time.
And I think that was the defending state champs they beat that night. And this game right here, if it kind of continues on this path, will go down as one of those. Been a lot of big wins in this stadium for teams, Rome and East Rome and West Rome, but this is a dominating performance.
But they've got 12 more minutes.
Sure do.
To salt it away. And Langston Hughes going to try to bring the fight here in the final quarter. We'll show it to you after a quick timeout.
Oh my gosh. World Chase Tag is the Pro League tournament for the planet's most intense new game, which takes the art of being hunted down to a whole new level. It is relentless and fiercely intense, with a chaser having just 20 seconds to get a hand on an invader.
He's done it! He has done it!
And there's only one rule.
don't get caught.
Tuesdays at 7 on Peachtree Sports Network.
Something this good just has to be shared. Finally, this is what you've been looking for. I'm talking about Quest. It's the best place to meet real people and make instant connections. And it's so fun to relax and just be myself. And the best part? It's free to try. Just pick up your phone and call. You should call Quest now.
Call 1-888-717-1717 now.
If it weren't a drink from McDonald's, you wouldn't try this hard.
Now get any size frozen drink for $1.79 or get an ice-cold classic lemonade made with real lemon juice. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
When you're a grocery store, hunger has no place in your community. That's why at Ingles, we donate over 2 million pounds of food every year to those who need it. It's the right thing to do, and we know you'd do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
All right, we're here with Coach Reed right now. You guys are up 35-14. What's it going to take for the Wolves to close this thing out?
We got to make some first downs. We got to win this quarter. I don't care how it is, 3-0. 0-0 is a win for us in this quarter, obviously. We just got to make some first downs to eat up some clock here. Got to keep running on our offense and play good defense.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you. We'll be back for the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Craig Sager Jr., and good stuff there from John Reed. And you know, for a coach like this has got to be the longest 12 minutes in the world, right?
Yes, you want to get through this. You want the clock to run. You don't want any type of injuries. You want to get in here and get out. Right now, just got a final Buford over Norcross, 28-25. So Keith Maloof and his team gave Buford all they wanted tonight, but the Wolves will advance. They will play Grayson. Don't forget, after the game, we will have a post-game show with Craig Sager, Kaylee Mansell going over brackets, and we will make I get text. We're getting text. We will make a decision on where we're going to be next week, tomorrow around noon on my social media, on X, Rusty Mansell _.
I'm going to give Buford some credit, too, because you know they were feeling the pressure. They did not make it out of the second round last year.
Correct.
And so
we were there.
To be challenged in the second round again. And listen, I was very impressed with what we saw from Norcross a couple of weeks ago.
Very young.
Yeah, young team, but also tremendously athletic, as a lot of Keith Maloof's teams have been. So not really surprising that they would give a team like Buford a tough matchup, but, it seems like Buford handled the pressure and found a way to win that game tonight. So I'm going to give the Wolves some credit for that. Jefferson has kind of pulled away from Hiram there. That's a big win for Jefferson.
Yep, Sammy Brown, Travis Nolan, that head coach there has got that team rolling. They're going to be a tough out. Amazing cast back going, 14-7.
So apparently the
lights are back on in Georgia.
The lights are back on, and the delay is perhaps benefited
Steve Gates
here.
told them, we're here. We're not leaving until those things cut on.
Yeah, Bartow County to Lakewood Stadium's not like that's not a Sunday drive.
No. And, man, kudos to them. The schedule they played, they were 5-5. They go on the road last week, beat a very, very good Kale team. They're wanting to go. John Reed almost talked him into it.
You know who's had a great year this year is Central Carroll.
Let me tell you something. They got a freshman quarterback by the name of J.J. I'm going to get his name in a minute. Harris. And he's a freshman quarterback. He's going to play in the freshman All-American game. They also got a running back that Georgia has recruited heavily as a sophomore.
Corey Gardhigh takes the punt off of bounds. Just the second time tonight Rome has had to punt. And so if you're a Langston Hughes fan and you're kind of thinking about your chances here, I mean, you're hanging on by a fingernail, but you get the football now to begin the fourth quarter. You're still sort of in it, but you probably got to move it with a little bit more pace than your previous drive. That resulted in a touchdown, but it took you 15 plays in 6 minutes. You can't do that 3 times. You don't have enough time to do that.
You got to continue to kind of work the boundaries, but we got to throw some balls vertical. We got to challenge Rome a little bit. Let me make sure I get this young man's name. J.R. Harris, the freshman quarterback at Central Carrollton, and Jonez Walton, the sophomore running back, Georgia, Alabama. Everybody's on him. It's crazy. Those two schools that close, Carrollton and Central Carrollton, are that talented.
It really is. Nolan setting up a screen, gets it to Savage. Savage takes a big hit right there at the 28-yard line.
I'm telling you, man, 22 brings it. And you talking about throwing your body around? App State's hoping the power goes off here on the,
That's right.
Because, man.
Indeed, that is the case. Nolan now rolling left, throwing towards the sideline over there. Harmon's there to drive him out of bounds, but that is going to be a catch once again for Jabari Jones. And as I said before, he's had quite a night statistically speaking.
Number one, he has brought it. You know what I like about this, Brent? He's played well in space. If you want to play on the next level, if you want to play big-time college football as an outside linebacker, you got to play in space, and he showed me that tonight. That interception to start the second half was as athletic as it gets.
Under 10 minutes now in regulation. You see a trips formation there on the right side. Kind of stacking a guy behind the tight end Tiller. Savage went in motion, but it's going to be a penalty on Hughes.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
I tell you, man, they're going to lose Aaron Nolan. They'll lose a few players, but this is a junior-heavy football team, Langston Hughes.
Especially at the pass-catching spot.
Yes.
Receivers.
Offensive line.
You know, McGee's a junior. Gleaton's a junior.
Tiller's a sophomore.
Brandon Gates is a junior. Tiller's a sophomore. So the skill talent here is pretty young. And Nolan just throws it up once again. And that's going to be an over-the-shoulder interception. And now running back down the sideline here. That's DK Daniel in on defense. He's got the game's first touchdown offensively. And he makes another over-the-shoulder catch. This one an interception. And it's the 4th interception of the night for Aaron Nolan. And he is one pick away, unfortunately, from matching his season-long total.
That's incredible. And listen, credit to the Rome defense because they got into him right there. He was unable to set his feet. And they're down, and he's pressing to try to make a play. But all the credit in the world to this Rome defense.
Quite a performance for what Rome has been able to do defensively, including Daniel getting in and playing some on both sides there. A touchdown, now an interception. And perhaps that's enough to get the victory cigars lit here around Barron Stadium.
Yeah, they're going to be.
Still got 9:41 to go in the game, but that turnover, third, by the way, in this second half for Hughes, becomes big. Flag down here. McDermott, though, going to try to run hard nonetheless.
Got another flag there. 2 flags late.
I just think that there are very few things more impactful for winning a game, certainly probably everywhere, but here in Georgia especially, when it's a dominant defensive line, that just changes the tone of the game so much.
High school football. I mean, it's just, you can do so much there.
And of course, defensive line,
we have
the
2
position.
penalties on the play. We have a sideline warning on the offense. We got a personal foul, face match, defense. 15-yard penalties from the previous spot.
Think about defensive line here at Rome. That's the position that John Reed also coaches as well.
Yep.
In addition to being the head coach.
Yeah, Rome, they've just controlled. They've controlled it, and really the front four kind of has taken this over. So they haven't had to bring Jaden Harmon. They haven't had to blitz Joe Wilkins. They've been able to do and create pressure with those front four. And that's what's always made Rome different with their defensive line. And everybody that faces them talks about where do they get these defensive linemen up there? Just keep producing them.
You talked to a lot of coaches, you know, even within the roster, within the school building, there's always going to be the fighting, and I say I have air quotes around fighting, and they're not actually fighting, but the jockeying among coaches for those big men. You know, is it an offensive lineman, is it a defensive lineman? And most coaches will tell you, hey, if it's a fight, I let my defensive line coaches win in that situation.
Right. And when you're the head coach, John Reed,
you are definitely going to win that.
The first-round draft picks are in his room.
You know, oftentimes, like, it's actually kind of ironic because one of the really good Hughes offensive lineman, Cam Williams, is a good basketball player, but oftentimes you know, your defensive lineman is the big guy that plays a different sport, right?
Yeah.
He does play basketball or something like that. We've seen, you know, guys like that, including in Georgia, Trayvon Walker, Jalen Carter. They were all high school basketball players. You know.
Oh man, I watched Jalen. I watched Trayvon Walker play Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch. 2 number 1s.
That's really a fun thing to consider here. Getting ready to go under 8 minutes to go in the game. Third down now coming up. So stay tuned tomorrow. Rusty on social media will have you with a big announcement as to where we'll be next week for our quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah, it would be on X, Twitter, whatever it is tonight. Rusty Mansell _ We're also Score Atlanta, all their socials, Facebook, Instagram.
And as we told you, we'll also start next week at 7:30 p.m. Our game will kick at 8, but we'll start with a pregame show at 7:30 p.m. to kind of give you sort of a post-Thanksgiving look at the quarterfinal action. And as you see Reese Fountain running the...
I'm telling you, when they go empty in that, when they go motion, it doesn't matter. You know you can stop it, but the next team that plays them are going to know that when you go empty in that set, you better watch for that quarterback draw.
As we were saying a moment ago, you know, when you think about moving on to the quarterfinals, you've said this now for years that, hey, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you know you've had a good season.
The goal is to win the region championship, and the next goal is to practice on Thanksgiving. Then you can reset your goal to finish this thing. But what an honor to be able to practice in the state of Georgia on Thanksgiving morning.
Indeed, it is the case.
So 56 teams will move on this week.
Fountain going to throw. It's a pass caught like right there at the first down marker to Stallings. That makes it 1st and goal. Taneria Stallings has had a nice night. Both sides of the ball and special teams and everything else. That Rome fan starting to feel things a bit.
Oh, man. Would you believe me if I told you I know him?
That's nice to know. Nice to know.
Oh, man. It's going to be a happy individual tonight.
I love, you know, when you see the happy fans when we go places like this. These communities care about their team so much.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And listen, this was, you know, I kind of know the pulse of this community living here. And talking to everybody this week, you know, everybody understood what was at stake. And everybody knew who was coming to town. But I never sensed like, hey, we can't play with them. It was like, it's going to be a good game Friday night. We're ready to play. We're ready to show them after last year. And kudos to this staff getting Rome ready. Kudos to this defense, this offense. It started on the, I guess the second play with Reese Fountain hitting that touchdown pass.
Right.
They just started rolling.
You know, you talked to John Reed this week, kind of a candid conversation where, you know, Rome has been a regular in the playoffs and making pretty deep runs and certainly winning the region championships, things like that, as Arthur is going to punch it in for his second touchdown of the night. And Rome is about to take a 41-14 lead with an extra point pending. But, you know, Reed, you know, kind of candid saying, you know, hey, hope we don't get complacent about this. Our community, our fan base, to appreciate the fact that, you know, another deep run like this.
He challenged the fans. Now, I watched them on social media. They challenged their fans to be here tonight. And what we've seen with TV, it doesn't affect the crowd at all. You know what I mean? Like, this place is packed out on the Rome side tonight.
It absolutely was.
You wait till next week. You want to talk about a packed house? Everybody in Northwest Georgia just about will be sitting here for that Thomas County Central Rome game.
Yeah, when you get these extreme, you know, like a couple years ago we were lucky enough to do Raven County against Thomasville, a great night for the Bulldogs that night. But you talk about it's almost as long a road trip as you can take in Georgia high school football. And next week, Thomas County Central and Rome will be pretty close to that there as well. All right, Rome Wolves are on their way to the quarterfinals, and we're having a good time here at Barron Stadium on a Friday night.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
My marriage kind of took a different path. He told me he was not moving back into the home. My biggest fear was the unknown. What would happen with the children and myself? What would happen with the house? I found Meriwether and Tharp. They told me that they would walk me through this divorce, and they did that tenfold. You need an attorney. You need the best attorney, and that's going to be Meriwether and Tharp.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
And welcome back. You see the Wolf from Rome, 42-14, and the Rome students there as well. Boy, they've had so much to cheer for here tonight. And by the way, it's been warm enough today that, you know, shirtless is not necessarily the worst choice. I mean, it's certainly been warm enough that you've been able to do that. I don't know that I plan on going shirtless.
I asked Ajay if I wear my tank top tonight. He said I couldn't, but I was ready to bring the big guns out in Floyd County tonight.
Very pleasant, warm weather here in somewhat late November. And Langston Hughes gets the football back, but time and deficit, a massive enemy for Boone Williams' team here at the moment. See our scoring summary: 7 plays, 33 yards. Chance Arthur, second touchdown of the night. Of course, all that brought to you by Breda Pass Management. Go back to the beginning of the season, you know, for Langston Hughes. They won the game against Carrollton, a thrilling game on ESPN. High-profile matchup of quarterbacks, Aaron Nolan, Julian Juju Lewis. A lot of celebrities in the building that day. And, you know, it was an indication that this was going to be a different kind of Langston Hughes team. And Boone Williams said that in, you know, very matter-of-fact fashion. In 2022, on the way to the state championship, they almost never played a close game. And they were, you know, rarely, they certainly never, you know, trailed and rarely played any kind of close game whatsoever. This year, that's not been the case. They've lost a couple of times. They had to fight to the end to win against
last week. North Forsyth.
Against North Forsyth, and also you know against Carrollton to begin the season. It's just a little bit of a different mindset.
I thought he said it well in pregame. He said it's been an up and down season. He said I hope that we're on the up. But I'll tell you this: I've known him for a while, and we talked Monday night for a few minutes, and I could tell he knows. Listen, this is not last year. This is still a young team. We've got Aaron Nolan, but we still are young in some really key spots.
And like the one thing that, you know, Coach Boone, which he likes to call himself, and everyone calls him Coach Boone, one thing that, you know, Coach Boone is very serious about is the kind of standard that he has for his program. And obviously they've enjoyed great success, but, you know, they've still practiced as hard this year, just as hard as ever. They take the classroom very seriously. One of the things he's really proud of is the fact that, you know, his team kind of has like a composite GPA of at least 3.1 for like the last couple of years here. You know, he's really established a strong academic culture around that program too.
He's changed the whole school.
But tonight, unfortunately, has just not been
you got to kudos, man.
Their best night, and it is kudos to this Rome defense who's prevented Langston Hughes from getting it going.
And it's not been, they have created turnovers. They have taken the fight to Langston Hughes tonight. So saying all that about Langston Hughes, but I want to say this about Rome. They hit them in the mouth tonight.
Sure did. That continues here right now.
It started early. And they are still bouncing around.
Datheon Hazelrig, one of the guys in on the stop that time. So you're starting to get some rotating going here.
And this will be one of those tanks. This will be one of those things that Coach Williams makes them watch in the offseason.
Yeah, in the same way that.
And you saw good sportsmanship right there. You see Langston Hughes, 25, shaking hands with 22 from Rome a little bit. And, you know, that's what's the young kids. That's game recognizing game.
Yeah, that's right.
Like to see that.
Well, both these programs have had such a history of, like, big battles.
Yep.
And, like for Langston Hughes for a long time, they were in these tough battles over the years. And, that's the punt that Langston Hughes could have really used in the first half right there.
2 of those.
Maybe a different type of game if that be the case. But, for Langston Hughes for a long time, they were battling against Buford, and Rome's had its battles with, like, say, Carrollton over the years. Both these programs are no strangers to, tough rivalries with great teams. And tonight, it's going to belong to Rome here, and we'll take a quick timeout and be right back.
Born in Atlanta, that means something here. It means you were raised amongst the trees and the skyscrapers and the people. It means you grew up cheering for our teams, no matter what. It means you know how to play well with others. And those that leave to do big things never really leave. It means when you grow, you help Atlanta grow. Introducing the new Corral Pavilion at Grady. Atlanta born and now raised.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports. True to Atlanta, true to the South Side. This is our city. Don't miss it. As your Skyhawks take on the Capital City Go-Go. High-action, high-speed G League basketball. Saturday at 6, only on Peachtree Sports Network.
This is the Fantasy GOAT.
It's the difference between being the greatest of all time or having a bad season.
A complete disaster.
Saturdays at 6 on Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back, and now it's time for one of our favorite times of the week here, our Georgia Elite Classic Recruiting Report presented by Dog Nation. We're going to extend some more invitations to the big event coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah, it worked all week, and interesting. I had some guys go through our 8th graders and picked out. Robert Edwards is telling me about Tristan Robinson. Quarterback Terrence Edwards has told me that Tristan Robinson from Washington County. You see those Washington County? Undefeated.
How about that?
Big win. They say, listen, this is the group that's going to bring us back. So they were excited about that. Juniors, seniors, sophomores, freshmen. Look at some of these kids around the state here. And Teddy Gerard there, freshman quarterback, North Cobb Christian. Look at some of these guys in this game tonight, and really excited about our group. Aaron Nolan played in this game. Reese Fountain played in this game. A lot of these guys you'll see first.
See Mooney Gibson there from Kell, the running back who we saw a couple of times.
We definitely liked him. Yep.
Good to see him coming on in here. We'll get back to live action here as well in the 4th quarter as Rome goes back on offense, knowing they're a couple of first downs away from perhaps bringing this one to a close, and it's going to be Arthur called upon on first down. He's up to the 41-yard line.
Start talking about Rome next year. You're going to lose Reese Fountain, a couple of linemen. A lot of the offense is going to go through Chance Arthur. Strong running back coming back. Some of the younger guys. Got a young man named Mason Tant. They're high on. Is going to be a rising junior, and he's going to be the next quarterback here for the Rome Wolves.
And what's interesting is the lineage of quarterbacks, because Fountain was a 4-year starter. John Reed's only really had, what, 2 or 3 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think they've had 2 quarterbacks in 8 years.
Yeah, that's really
Knox, Kadum.
Yeah, it's amazing to think
one year difference, I believe, between I think Kadum was a senior and Fountain was an 8th grader.
I mean, to be frank, it's not uncommon in Georgia right now to have a different quarterback every year.
Yes. Yeah.
And to think you would have back-to-back 4-year starters,
yeah,
I can promise you that is a rarity.
You look at both these quarterbacks tonight. Both these kids have started for 4 years. You look at Fountain. He's going to move to 41-6 tonight.
Let's also take some time to see our Gordo's Cheesy Play of the Game presented by Gordo's Cheese Dip. And there were a couple of these issues tonight for Hughes when it came to the special teams there, and both of them resulted in very quick touchdowns from Rome. And really that kind of changes the game here. I mean, you can't quite just subtract those off and say
they count.
Yeah, but they do count, and who's to say that Rome wouldn't have scored on a longer field anyway.
Yep.
But my gosh, you don't need to give this team a short field. And now the coach's favorite play in the playbook here, victory formation. Reese Fountain takes the knee, The clock will kind of start to run down here. We'll see our game's key defensive stop presented by the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. And how about this interception? We saw this moments ago.
Pressure, unable to step into that ball. He just throws it up, and Rome defense goes and gets it, man.
DK Daniel, Jaden Harmon had a nice one. Ryan Sykes had a nice one. Tanarius Stallings had an interception as well. And the final countdown starts to play here.
I can tell you what, this place right here will be busting at the seams next Friday night.
What a performance by Rome, and what a season it's been here thus far. We'll see our play of the game here as well from the very beginning of the game. How about, and DK Daniel, who had the interception we showed you a moment ago, how about the touchdown to get things started there as well? That presented by HendrickCars.com. So Daniel, a big contributor on both sides of the ball. And you see a big hug from John Reed, one of his players. Now a wonderful handshake there between Boone Williams and John Reed. Good sportsmanship there. Classy gesture on the part of Williams to be so congratulatory. Obviously, he knows what it feels like to win a state championship a year ago, but they're going to come short here in the 2022 season, and the dominant performance from Rome is the reason why. Getting ready for Thomas County Central.
Tell you what, man, that defense of Thomas County Central, who many believe is the best in the state in this classification, coming up here against Rome. And this offense, the way they perform tonight, and Rome's defense is not too shabby now.
That's right. Nice handshake a moment ago from John Reed for Justice Savage, the running back. By the way, Savage, of course, on his way to Indiana. So one of a couple of Big Ten commits here on this Langston Hughes team. You see the cheerleaders getting out there to offer their own handshake there as well. That's a nice gesture too. And in a moment, we'll get a chance to hear from the victorious coach, John Reed. Then don't forget post-game coverage, Kaylee Manziel. And
see the two coaches speaking
there. Yeah, you see the conversation continuing right there, kind of on the left side of your screen a little bit between Williams and Reed. That's a nice thing. And then don't forget in your post-game, you're going to have plenty tonight from Kaylee Manziel going through all of the brackets and all of the quarterfinal matchups as they start to get set here. And of course, as we said, Craig Sager Jr. going to be. All right, so what we're going to do here in a moment is we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll give you a chance to hear from John Reed, the victorious coach tonight on one of the brightest nights for Rome football in quite some time. It's 42-14 is our final. We'll take a quick timeout and come back and have a lot more post-game coverage for you coming up right after this on the Peachtree Sports Network.
Yankee Wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years. Purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover.
To redefine yourself.
To improve yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools.
The best training.
The best technology in the world. We bring out the best in the people who serve.
So you can be all you can be.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Okay, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit
So when I got in the program, I was 18. At the time, I think the most appealing thing was, I could start out going to school and making money while I'm going to school. Not coming out in 4 or 5 years, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. That was the biggest attraction to this. I got in 3 days after graduation and hadn't looked back.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC provides apprentices with free training and careers that are stable and essential to the operation of the modern world. Both craft jobs and management positions offer lucrative pay with benefits as well as the stability of a growing industry. Skilled journeymen in the sheet metal industry are essential to our community now and in the future. Learn more about free technical training with no student debt at our website, careersinsheetmetal.com.
Sweetheart, please don't forget to wear your seatbelt.
I got it, Mom.
It's a very nice day, living in the right space. Breathing your grace, got me feeling some kind of way.
In the blink of an eye, so many tomorrows can disappear. Buckle up for your future, every trip, every time. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
All right, welcome back to our post-game coverage. It is time now for the Gatorade Players of the Game. I'm here with Defensive Player of the Game, Jaden Harmon, and our MVP, Reese Fountain. Jaden, I want to start with you. Defensively, this is a Hughes team. They've been putting up a lot of points, defending state champs. The defense just came out with an attitude, didn't give up the big plays, and then you guys just produced so many turnovers. Just talk about the preparation that went into this matchup.
Well, the defense, we worked our butts off all week. We know they have a great offense. We know we're going to have to stay on them the whole game or can't let them get any momentum. And, just don't give them any chances, and we're going to have to stay on them the whole game, every play.
What'd you see in that interception you had? Hughes, obviously, they're trying to get back in this ball game, opening the second half, coming out and just making a big game-changing play.
Yeah, in the first half, we're in cover 3. They kept throwing over my head to 1, so I knew they were going to go back to it. And as soon as I saw them sprint out, I just went out to 1, and the ball went straight to me.
And then, Reese, congratulations on the victory. I know this one meant a lot, playing the defending state champs. What did you see out there just from your team and just the way you guys played?
We had a great game plan coming in, just trusting our O-line and receivers. They played great tonight, and just our OC, Coach Humphrey, just had a great game plan coming in this week, and I knew we were ready. We've been locked in all week.
And then what did that first touchdown pass do just to your confidence, just throwing a perfect dime to DK Daniel to get you guys going?
Yeah, they came out and covered 3. That's what we thought they were going to do. And the corner just played it slow, just went right by him, threw it to him, touchdown.
And then, Jaden, what did you see just having fun out there with your teammates, the defense just getting after it all 4 quarters?
So what?
Just how was it just out there? Your defense is playing great. You guys are having fun out there, making plays continuously. Just how was it just being out there with the boys?
Oh, yeah, it felt great. We remember what they did to us last year, and that just gave us extra energy and extra excitement about it. So we just played together as a team the whole game, stayed on them, and we came out with the dub.
And then, Reese, I know this one, it does mean a lot for the Rum team. As you just mentioned, they knocked you guys out of the playoffs last year.
Yes, sir.
What are the goals just moving forward after getting the big win over Hughes tonight?
Game after game, just take it one game at a time. Round 3 next week at home, just go get the dub.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You were just named the MVP of your region, and now you are our Robbie Hunter MVP. Congratulations, Reese.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll be back with more playoff coverage and brackets.
We're here!
Thanksgiving. It's part of the fabric and culture of our country. What a great time for families to reconnect and hand down generations of stories. Not only does Thanksgiving build the bonds of family, but also our neighborhoods and communities.
Well, are you coming?
I was just waiting for you to ask.
Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network. your home for live, local sports.
Hi, I'm Chris with MaximumCashHomebuyers.com. Skip the baloney and the headache of realtors, showings, inspections, and repairs. Sell fast and easy to someone you trust. Inherited a home? I got you. Vacant house? I'll buy it. Home that needs work? Even better. No inspections, no fees, no gotchas, and no empty promises. If you need a stress-free guaranteed cash offer, I'm your guy. Let me prove to you why I'm Atlanta's most trusted cash home buyer. Call 678-905-9000. That's 678-905-9000.
True to Atlanta, true to the South Side. This is our city. Don't miss it. As your Skyhawks take on the Capital City Go-Go. High-action, high-speed G League basketball. Saturday at 6. Only on Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the legends of the game who paved the way for the stars of today.
Get out of his way.
Origin Sports showcases sports history that is as relevant today as it was in the past. Origin Sports. Run it back.
Outcome is a little bit different this time. Rome will host next week. Thomas County Central is going to come here. What can we expect from that matchup?
Well, Thomas County Central, that defense has been next level. We saw what Rome's defense could do tonight, though, limiting Hughes to just 14 points, and I was just thoroughly impressed. They got off to the hot start. They didn't turn the ball over. They won in penalties, and just the way they didn't allow Hughes to get that big play to get back in the game, just all the credit to that defense. They matched them physically. I just thought it was a great team win and one that obviously meant a lot just having them in their season last year.
Well, tonight marked the end of the second round of the playoffs. That means Elite 8 is this upcoming Friday. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our brackets from tonight, starting with Class 7A. Carrollton with a big win over Valdosta. They are going to face Walton in a rematch from last year. It will be at Carrollton this year. They won the coin toss. I'm just going to let you talk about this because I know you're eager to.
Yeah, when you look at who are the best passing offenses in the state of Georgia right now, I mean, obviously both those offenses have balance, but the way that Carrollton can have the mismatches with Caleb Odom, and then the way that Jeremy Heglinski can disperse the football, the speed of guys like Cam Lloyd, I think you're looking at two of the best passing offenses in the state going head-to-head.
And moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, I will say in the classes such as 5, 6, and 7, we didn't really see a lot of upsets, more so in the smaller classifications, but one of the upsets on the night, Camden County upsetting McEachern 26-0. They're going to go face the reigning state champion in Mill Creek. What do you have?
Well, when I talked to Coach Helmrich, Peachtree Ridge's coach, he was mentioning against Lambert, they ran a bunch of screens. With Mill Creek, that's a whole different beast. You knew they were going to run the ball with Cam Robinson, open up that offense, and so just a really tough draw for a young Peachtree Ridge team. And then Camden County, a team that I admit I have not given a lot of credit to this year, but McEachern was one of the hottest teams in 7A going into that matchup. A great rushing attack. They have had a good season, but that is a big win for Camden County.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Buford and Norcross came down to the final minutes. Very evenly matched game. Buford ultimately gets a win on the road, but they're going to go to a familiar foe in Grayson.
That's right. Norcross had a big pick six late in the game that gave them a chance at the end, but Buford was able to hold on. We know A.J. Watkins, Norcross's quarterback, had an unbelievable season doing it all for them. And then Grayson playing Buford next round, first ever matchup. I think that is a very tough draw for Buford.
And moving on to the last part of our 7A bracket, Milton with a win over Collins Hill tonight. Collins Hill, another one of those teams that's been really hot coming into the playoffs. Milton shuts them down, and Colquitt County defeated Westlake tonight 38-19. Milton's going to make that trip to South Georgia the day after Thanksgiving.
It's going to be such an intriguing matchup. What impressed me about Milton's win tonight, Collins Hill does a great job at stopping the run. So Milton, they have a great passing attack with Luke Nickel, but they obviously had to be balanced to beat this Collins Hill team. Second time they faced them this season, and a result like that is a great sign for the offense going down to Colquitt next week.
Now let's go ahead and move on to our 6A bracket, starting with the upper left side. Lee County upsetting Lovejoy was not even close. And Douglas County with a win over Sequoia. Douglas County, man, I don't think that we've talked about them enough this year.
Not at all. And I made a mistake. Milton will host. And that's actually almost karma because last year they had their playoff game moved to McEachern, so they will host. But, yeah, Douglas County, that's a team a lot of people think have the ingredients to win a state title this year. They went under the radar in the preseason because last year they lost their quarterback for most of the season. But this year they've been hot from the start. They just keep getting better each week.
Moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, Woodward Academy with a win over Houston County 27-7. Houston County for a 3 seed, don't let that fool you. Super talented. We thought they might have a good shot here, but Woodward Academy does their job, pulls it out, and they're going to face off with Gainesville, who defeated Blessed Trinity tonight 35-12.
Yep, and the matchup right there is Woodward Academy's defense. They are just giving up 7 points a game this season, going up against that tough Gainesville offense.
Super
Baxter
tough.
Wright, Sky Niblet, and then Gavin Hall. I think he's been the MVP of their team this year. He's been so effective running the ball. It's almost playing that Christian McCaffrey role.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Roswell with a win over Lanier tonight. They're going to play Marist. I was telling one of the coaches from Rome earlier they could potentially match with Marist in the Final Four if both Rome and Marist make it that far. That triple option is tough to defend because you don't practice for something like that until the week of. There's no way to really prepare for it.
That's right, and I thought that might have been like an easier quadrant, but that's a tough matchup right there.
For sure.
Marist looked outstanding tonight, built a huge lead. Defense is stout. It's just going to be about stopping that Roswell offense that I think Saquon Smith and their receivers, it's going to be an interesting matchup, but stopping Marist is going to be tough.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, obviously tonight Rome with a big win over Hughes, rematch of last year's Final Four. As we said earlier, different outcome, but it doesn't get any easier from here. Rome knows that. Fortunately, they will host Thomas County Central, but Thomas County Central, like you said, Craig, it seems like every time we look at the scoreboard and see them, Jonesboro was able to put up 6 points, but nobody's really been able to compete with them this far.
Yeah, I just assumed that was a 0. That is a 6. But that'll be interesting. Thomas County Central, they have just had such complimentary football all season because their defense is so reliable. They've just been able to control every single game. Just been unbelievable. So I'm just interested in that matchup. We saw Rome tonight, matched up really well with Hughes. So we'll see what the offense can do next week against, I guess, one of the top defenses in the state this year.
And moving on to our Class 5A bracket, Warner Robins putting out the former state champion out tonight. Close game, 23-21. Warner Robins will host Creekside, who we actually got to see here in day 3 of the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic right here in Barron Stadium.
Yep, Creekside was down 24-21 in that and just poured on all those unanswered points to run away with it. Their offense is so dangerous, that two-headed attack in the backfield. So I think Creekside matching up against Warner Robins, I think that might be a playoff rematch too. That's who knocked them out a year ago. So watch out for that one.
Moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, Harris County with a win over Statesboro, 42-7. They will host Jefferson. Hiram and Jefferson at halftime was really close. Jefferson came out with big numbers in the second half, and they will travel to Harris County.
Yep, Jefferson's undefeated. I talked to Coach Nolan this week. He kind of downplayed the success they've had this season, but I think when you have a guy like Sammy Brown, one of the strongest guys probably in the country at the high school level, squats like 650 pounds. He's a track player. He wins state titles at 285 in wrestling. When you put the ball in his hand and you have him on the defensive side of the ball, I think you can match up with anyone.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Cartersville hangs on to Eastside tonight, and they will host Jenkins, who only won by 1 point tonight over Dutchtown.
Yeah, that one definitely came down to the wire. Second 1-point victory in a row for Jenkins, and then Cartersville just been unstoppable this season. We've seen them have massive comebacks. They have just been winning.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, I've been so excited to talk about this one. Cass, 4 seed, upsets Mays tonight. Now, keep in mind, at halftime, the lights went out. There was a delay of game. I think they actually got done later in that game than they did here. But Cass, a 4 seed, hangs on. Them and Cartersville are the two left out of that region.
Yeah, and that one, Cass always surprised me because I looked at that matchup. I thought it was going to be high scoring. Instead, Cass basically held them scoreless until the second half. Great defensive effort, and then
you could say they played lights out defense.
That's funny. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then Coffee, they're undefeated as well. I think they're number one in most of the 5A polls at this point. Creekside's also up there, but that's going to be a tremendous matchup. Can Cass continue this Cinderella run?
And that wraps up our brackets for now. We're going to have more for y'all. Break them all down, everything you need to know right after the break, so stay tuned.
What does it mean when people say America is a land of opportunity?
It means the power to discover,
to redefine yourself,
To improve yourself
to challenge yourself,
to realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
It means giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
With the best tools,
the best training,
the best technology in the world.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
so you can be all you can be.
Struggling with food insecurity can feel lonely, yet every community across America is affected by hunger, which is why our Kroger associates work together to rescue nutritious food that would otherwise go to waste in an effort to donate 3 billion meals by 2025. Because we believe everyone should have access to fresh, delicious food. Join the Kroger Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to defeat hunger and eliminate food waste.
America, come along with our adventure seekers and discover summer with Ford. Join friends Maisa and Leslie on an epic adventure with the capability of the Ford Bronco Sport. Head out with the Stevens family and stay connected with built-in Wi-Fi in the Ford Explorer.
Did you know that horses sleep standing up?
Road trip with the Sanchez family and available hands-free highway driving in the Ford F-150. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $4,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your local Ford dealer and discover your best summer ever.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. It's Kaylee Mansell with Craig Sager. We've got more brackets for you guys, so let's go ahead and look at our scoreboard, brought to you by Score Atlanta. Let's start with Class 4A. All right, Spalding County shut out Troup County tonight, and they will host Stockbridge, who had a close win over Westminster, which I just now learned how to pronounce correctly tonight for the first time. You can ask Rusty.
Westminster, yeah. I thought Stockbridge really had to fight its way in this game. Westminster had a big first-round victory. They snapped a drought dating back to 2018, so they have steadily improved, but that was a really tough game for Stockbridge. They survived. They're going to square off with undefeated Spalding, who basically Troup, they're a little injured. They lost Teo Todd, so they haven't had the firepower, but it's a big win for Spalding.
And moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, Benedictine hangs on to LaGrange. It was a close game for the first half. You and I were looking at that score, not sure what was going to happen. Benedictine comes out on top, so North Oconee will be making the trip to Savannah to go face off with the Cadets.
Yep, that'll be a tough one. I think North Oconee is the best team equipped to match up with Benedictine. They have the toughness, they have the experience on both sides of the football, and that is my number one and number two. I think it's going to be a great game, but watch out for North Oconee.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Central Carrollton with a win over Lovett 38-10, and they will host Stars Mill.
It's a big win for them. They remain undefeated, and then Stars Mill, going into this, I knew their defense has been lights out, but that's impressive to me. They win, scoring 45 points. They shut down that really explosive New Hampstead passing attack.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, Stevenson will host Perry. Super low scoring game, good defenses, but Perry ultimately gets the upset over Bainbridge.
That's just an incredible effort by the Panthers. They also had a quarterback go down, and they have just been grinding it out these last few weeks. The big win over Burke County, a very talented team with Coach Franklin Stevens, and then they were up 7-3 at the half, and they just closed it out. Very impressive effort by Perry.
And moving on to our Class 3A bracket, Mary Persons tonight with a big win over Crisp County, and they are going to host Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove, one of those teams that their record does not reflect the kind of team that they are, play a super tough non-region schedule to prepare them for playoff games like they would play against Mary Persons.
Yeah, I think Mary Persons, they're the team that beat Prince Ave, and so they got another big #1 ranked team to take on with Cedar Grove, who is obviously extremely motivated. I know they've had a tough season with the losses, but they want that title after last year's controversy.
And moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, Jake Berklinger at Calvary Day leads the way with a big win over Thomasville, 49-0, and they're going to host Wesleyan, who upset Stevens County tonight.
Calvary Day has never been this deep, this talented, or this experienced. They look unbelievable week in and week out. They had a big match with Savannah Christian earlier, dominated that one. I think they are on a path for a state title this season.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Lumpkin County is going to host Savannah Christian, who had a big upset tonight over Morgan County.
And that was a very tough win over Oconee County. Beat Douglas in the first round. They remain undefeated, though. That game was back and forth the entire time, and they're going to have to go up against the star power of Savannah Christian in the quarterfinals.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, Monroe area with an upset over Gilmer tonight, and they will travel to Carver Columbus because they are a 3 seed. They will go to Carver Columbus, who is the higher seed, who just won by 1 point tonight over Upson Lee.
That's right. In Monroe area, you look at the teams they've had to face already with Sandy Creek. They've had an incredible stretch, and going up against Carver Columbus, it's another tough matchup, but they continue to win, beat a very talented Gilmer team.
And moving on to our 2A bracket, Fitzgerald upset Spencer tonight. Fitzgerald, just one of those teams that you see deep into the playoffs year in, year out. And because they are the #2 seed, they will go to Callaway again, another program that you're always going to see in the Elite 8, Final Four, state champions. And we're going to have some big news coming out with Callaway soon.
That's right. Fitzgerald, they come out of an exceptional region, so they might lose 1 or 2 games in the regular season, but they just continue to find their way deep into the playoffs year after year.
And moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, Pierce County is going to host Fellowship Christian. Fellowship Christian has not had any trouble in the playoffs yet this far. Won their first matchup 42-14. Just won tonight's matchup 63-14, which is probably the biggest score difference that we've seen tonight of any classification.
Yeah, North Murray, they're known for their offense. The defense hasn't been that stout this year, and then Fellowship has the explosive ability with their running back C.J. Givers and the power up front on that offensive line.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Rockmart absolutely dominated Union County tonight, 56-14, and they're going to host Toombs County.
Yep, Toombs County knocked off Thompson, so we only have 4 defending champs left. We saw Sandy Creek go down in the first round. We saw Hughes lose tonight. We also saw Ware County go down to Warner Robins.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, Columbia upsetting North Cobb Christian tonight, and they will go on the road to face Cook.
Yep, Cook's had that crazy season, but they have been dominant. You take away those losses that they got back, they've been top team all year.
And guys, we've got the rest of the brackets right after the break, so make sure to stay tuned.
I've used R.S. Andrews 15 years, purchased 2 heating and air systems, so I rely on their technicians for service. I call, they come, it's fixed. And I appreciate Andrews' commitment. He gives it his all. That's how R.S. Andrews makes me smile.
Yikey wawa! Running out of hot water is one way your water heater cries out for help. Call R.S. Andrews. Get a water heater rejuvenation. Your water heater gets added life, you get more hot water. Another way R.S. Andrews makes you smile today.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is now hiring with a sign-on bonus of up to $4,700. Begin your career with us today. Explore GoGCSO.com to discover information on tuition reimbursement, paid training, and annual benefits. Are you ready to rise to the call? Go GCSO.
Okay, guys, go ahead and take it off. Take it off.
My marriage kind of took a different path. He told me he was not moving back into the home. My biggest fear was the unknown. What would happen with the children and myself? What would happen with the house? I found Meriwether and Tharp. They told me that they would walk me through this divorce, and they did that tenfold. You need an attorney. You need the best attorney, and that's going to be Meriwether and Tharp.
And welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Craig Sager, and let's go ahead and take a look at our Class A Division II bracket. Starting with the upper left side of our bracket, Clinch County won 35-6 over Seminole County tonight, and then Manchester upset Johnson County, shut them out in their own house. They will go to clinch.
Yep, you look at the Class A Division II bracket and these quarterfinal matchups, it is a top-heavy classification. All the favorites are advancing, winning big. It's going to set up some real interesting matchups.
And moving on to the lower left side of our bracket, again, as we mentioned earlier, there were a lot more upsets in our Class A divisions as opposed to our upper classes. So again, Telfair upset Portal tonight, and Macon County, it went into overtime. I was watching it on the Score Atlanta website the entire night. Macon County goes on the road to upset Aquinas, so they will travel to, actually, both of them. Nope, Telfair County is going to host because they're a 2 seed. Macon County is a 3 seed, so they're going to travel to Telfair.
Yep, and Region 6 looks so impressive. We saw Manchester get the win. Macon County, the number 3 seed, coming out of that, and we'll see another outstanding Region 6 team on the other side of the bracket. So that just goes to show there will be some potential rematches in the quarterfinals and semis.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Bowden holds on to Greene County, wins 28-23, and they're going to host Dooley County.
Yep. Bowden, the defending state champs, they had to replace a lot of people, but they pride themselves in the weight room, the offensive line, and they grinded out a big victory tonight.
And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, here it goes, my favorite part of the night. Sly County with a win over Lincoln County tonight, and they're going to host Early County.
Lincoln County is a team that has been in the top 10 this year. Sly County's coming off the bye week, and they just picked up right where they left off. They are extremely motivated this year to take that title after falling in a heartbreaker last year.
And moving on to our Class A Division I, Irwin County with a shutout upset tonight over Bleckley County, and Prince Avenue Christian puts up 72 points on Mount Vernon. You would think it would be basketball season around here with those numbers.
Yeah, I think Irwin County had the biggest statement win in Class A Division I, but Prince Ave, they made up for it after having that forfeit in the first round. They said, you guys are messing up our stats. We got to put up 72.
And moving on to the lower left side of the bracket, Bryan County with a win over Pelham tonight, 34-8, and they're going to host a tough Commerce team.
Absolutely, Commerce. Tons of two-way players. They run the ball extremely well. They got a great environment, and they've just been a gritty team that comes out of probably the deepest region in that classification. They've had some thrilling wins this season.
And moving on to the upper right side of our bracket, Elbert County upset Tryon tonight, 42-41. Close game all along, but Elbert County comes out on top, and they are going to have a coin toss between them and Swainsboro, with both of them being Elbert County will host, I believe, the Granite Bowl. Have you ever been to the Granite Bowl, Craig?
No, but I've seen it, and I know that entire region has epic stadiums.
If you go to any game next week, head to Elbert County just so you could see the Granite Bowl.
Now, that'd be a lot of fun. Then Swainsboro, a state finalist last year, they fell to Prince Ave. They got DeMello Jones. They got more speed than anyone in those lower classifications. State champs all around the track, so that'll be a very exciting matchup. And moving on to the lower right side of our bracket, Raven County upset Whitfield tonight, and they're going to play Brooks County. Yep, and Raven County comes out of that same region as Elbert and Commerce. Region 6, they look very impressive, and that was a key win for Brooks County. Dublin had some big victories late in the season to get that number 2 seed.
And that wraps up our brackets for tonight. Just a few announcements before we let you guys go to bed. Number 1, where are we going to be headed next week? You can tune in tomorrow at 12 on Score Atlanta or Rusty Mansell's Twitter. I should probably know it because he's my dad, but I just don't know it off the top of my head. So you can go to his Twitter, find out around the afternoon, see where we're going to be next Friday. And also, we will be starting the show a little bit earlier than usual. We're going to do a Thanksgiving special pregame show for you guys starting at 7:30. So make sure to tune in then. And then the game, we will kick off at 8:08. So for myself, Craig Sager, Rusty Mansell, Brandon Adams, Roddy White, IJ Rosenberg, and so many others, we wish you good night. Have a good Thanksgiving, and we will see you right here next week on the Peachtree Sports Network, 7:30.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Oh my gosh!
World Chase Tag is the Pro League tournament for the planet's most intense new game, which takes the art of being hunted down to a whole new level. It is relentless and fiercely intense, with a chaser having just 20 seconds to get a hand on an invader.
He's done it! He has done it!
And there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Tuesdays at 7 on Peachtree Sports Network.
Here's to the